Welcome to the first episode of the CureCast, where our voice is the cure and the cure is pretty. I am your host, Kamiya, also known as Kamiyan, and one random thing about myself, I like spaghetti without the sauce and just grated Parmesan cheese.
Ooh.
With me today are members of the Pretty Cure LiveJournal group. First up is the administrator, leochan. Please introduce yourself.
Hi, leochan desu! I can't believe I just did that. Don't mind.
You just did!
I did, and I'm going to keep it. Except this is going to be the first time, the only time I've ever... Okay, what am I saying? I'm probably going to do that. Hi, I'm Leo. I'm a weeaboo and magical girl at heart, and I love Pretty Cure. I can't really think of anything
That's why
else.
we have this.
I can't really think of anything
That's why
else
you are
at
here.
the top of my hat.
You like tea? We're drinking tea.
I'm letting my tea
I don't know.
steep right now. Or cool down because it's been really hot since I only made it an hour ago. I also like eating a lot of snacks, so there's a very good chance that I will go nom, 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 all over the microphone.
You're a bit like Hummy in that respect.
I am, except I don't have any cupcakes.
Oh my god, we actually do have cupcakes. I'll send you some.
See, there's this really, really nice cupcake place that's like not even 5 minutes away, and it looks like Kanade's cupcakes. Like with a big, huge top with the icing. And I'm just like...
Is it called Crumbs?
No, it's called Ooh La La. And I'm just all like, how do you do this? I get diabetes from just eating the icing. How do you...
I get diabetes just by looking at it.
Well, it's just the fact that there's so much icing on this one cupcake. I honestly don't understand how people can devour this thing.
I say the same thing about every huge cupcake place with like giant cupcakes.
Cupcakes.
If you've just joined us, welcome to the Cupcake Podcast,
We are now the Cupcake Podcast.
where the cupcakes are yummy and the points don't matter.
I love you, man. Unfortunately, the original member Suki-chan could not join us, so gracing us with his awesome British presence is Redkun.
Hi, Boko wa Redkun desu.
You copied me! Copycat!
I hate you guys right now.
Hi. Yes, hello. I am Redkun. I am a fan of Pretty Cure, and I am very British as well. My interesting fact is that I am British.
I would like to think that you like Pretty Cure, otherwise you wouldn't really be here.
No, I've snuck in here
Oh no!
to talk with other fandoms.
Oh no, we have a
No.
spy in our midst!
We have a spy. He's a tokusatsu fan. Beware.
Oh. Yeah, actually, yes.
Oh.
I'm very much also a tokusatsu fan. And hope for the inevitable Pretty Cure Kamen Rider Super Sentai crossover.
If there ever was,
It's
I don't know. I don't think it will go very well
It's-
because have you ever seen how live action Pretty Cure looks like or live action cosplays look like? It's weird.
I think it looks awesome.
Are you
I'm
talking
not
about
gonna-
like the ones with the big huge masks?
Yes.
Let's not talk about those.
They scare me. I don't want to see that with. I don't want to see that with my Kamen Rider and my Super Sentai.
In all honesty, I think they're awesome, and I don't let anyone tell me otherwise.
Oh
that-
my
that'll
god!
be
What
my-
is wrong with you?
That will be my interesting fact as well. Oh, stop crying.
I'm not crying. I'm actually kind of laughing.
Okay. Crying.
I'm
Oh.
just popcorn gifting over here, but really I'm eating potato chips. Oh.
So we have a very interesting array of topics today, especially because this is our first episode of the CureCast, which I don't think there's any other Pretty Cure podcasts, are
Nope.
there?
Nope.
Oh, so we might just be the first Pretty Cure podcast, probably in English. There probably is a Japanese one, and we don't know it, but I don't even know if Japanese people do podcasts. But we are the legit first Pretty Cure podcast. Unless someone says otherwise, then I will not retract that statement. Congrats! We are the first members of the Pretty Cure podcast.
Yay!
As deadpan as I sound, I am actually pretty excited. I've been thinking about this all day.
That sounds awesome.
I've been thinking about this all day since I went to school, since I came back from school, and I've been so excited that I've been listening to Pretty Cure music nonstop.
That's a good way.
I'm serious.
That's a good way to gear up for this.
I was in game face mode. I was first in like school mode, and then I was in game face mode, and then now I'm in professional mode. Now I'm in unprofessional mode, and now I'm in game face mode. I'm so excited. You have no idea. Oh man, I was actually listening to a lot of stuff I was hoping to put in one of the panels today, but I didn't want to put it in just yet. I'll give it some time, but a lot of the music really gets me pumped. Music always gets me pumped. That's one of the reasons why I was really excited about being in doing this podcast, because
music.
I've never really done a podcast, to be honest. I've joined podcasts before, but I've never hosted one myself. It's especially since we did the test episode, which unfortunately will never get aired because of technical problems.
Aww.
See, at least you two have podcast experience. I'm a greenhorn.
Yeah, but you did fine. You actually did fine in the test episode.
Well, I'm just letting you know that I have, aside from, talking, I have really never been in a podcast.
But you're doing well. You did well in the other night's test. That went well. You did well when we did the test earlier in the month. I think you will fit in. And plus, I really feel it's an honor that an admin of the Pretty Cure LiveJournal group is joining us today.
I think you're doing really well.
You.
I really want to get another person with us. What was the name that you started this with?
Huh?
The name that you started the name of the person you started the Pretty Cure LiveJournal with.
Oh, Selfish.
Yeah, I think I've seen her a few times.
Well, see, she's...
What an ironic name, considering DokiDoki
See,
Preacher.
she's really hard to get. She's got a lot on her plate. She's living in Seattle right now. I talk to her every now and then.
Shout out to Selfish. Thank you for starting the Pretty Cure LiveJournal group with leochan. You're the greatest. I hope you're watching this.
Watching?
Listening. I hope you're listening to this.
Listening. Yeah.
Also, shout out to HyperX Beam, who also made Mod some time ago. Without her, I probably would not have a majority of the music I have today. Also, shout out to Frumix, who also contributed to my current music collection. I love you guys. You guys are the greatest.
Heart!
Okay.
Hearts!
So,
Hearts all over the place! I'm literally doing the DokiDoki heart thing, where Mana makes a heart shape with her hand, puts it over her chest, and then next to her face. I'm literally doing that right now.
Oh, you.
So excited. I'm so excited.
Oh, you.
Should we get to starting then?
Actually, that was a great segue. I'm surprised. Alright, starting first, this is the Freshly Picked Talk, where basically Freshly Picked Talk is, as you can tell, is a tribute to Fresh Pretty Cure. Also, we spend the time reviewing episodes of the current running Pretty Cure series, mostly subbed. I don't think a lot of us would probably understand the raws, so I pretty much bet that we all watch the subs when they come out, and then we review the episodes from there. From the last time we had a CureCast episode.
Well, I actually do watch the Raws, because I've gotten a very basic grasp of the Japanese language.
I'm the same as well. I don't watch the Raws as much as I used to, mainly because Doremi is very good at bringing out episodes really quickly. But I can watch the Raws and get a gist of what's going on.
Well, see, I don't have time to watch Raws anymore because I'm usually working during the time slot it airs in Japan. So I usually have no choice but to watch the subs, which is not bad at all. I'd like to actually understand this whole episode completely.
Plus, Keyhole's usually pretty bad quality.
Keyhole.
Actually, Kirakun a while back posted a streaming link to, I don't know if it's Keyhole, but I forgot what it was. I used it on the first episode when we did the test episode, and it worked out well, to be honest. I really liked it. but there were some complications.
See, I used Keyhole a lot when it came to Smile, but then, like I said, I had a whole bunch of extra stuff come up, so I couldn't actually do it, which was really sad because I really wanted to continue watching Smile.
You never finished.
I never finished Smile because it so happened that there was stuff going on in my personal life, and I just completely dropped anything and everything, and that included watching any of the animes that I had started.
You didn't miss too much.
Yeah. I hope you finish it, though.
I mean, I will finish it. I have to also finish a whole bunch of other series because I've gotten the last few episodes of them, but like I said, it was in that time frame where I just didn't want to do anything that involved the internet.
Right.
But they're all on my hard drive, so I have no reason not to watch it aside from I'm lazy.
Yeah, I haven't been cleaning out the episodes I watched lately. I don't know why, but I still have a collection of the last Smile episodes. I don't think I ever wanted to delete them because the ending was pretty fun. The ending fight was kind of awesome.
See, I'm
not the ending fight, the post-ending fight. Episode 47.
In Smile?
Yes. I forgot. Oh yeah, you haven't watched it, but you haven't really missed much. Don't worry about it.
No, I've seen the end of Smile.
It's okay. I don't mind spoilers. In fact, I've been kind of spoiling myself throughout the whole entire Smile season. So
To be honest, Leo, if you guess what's going to happen in Smile Precure, you'll probably get it right. That's pretty much how it goes. There were very few genuinely good plot twists, or rather genuinely surprising plot twists at the end of Smile Precure, sadly.
Okay. Alright, let's get back to business. Freshly Picked Talk, as I said, is an episode review of the last subbed episode of the current running season. Right now, we're definitely going on DokiDoki Pretty Cure.
Mm-hmm.
What we have since they first started is pretty much the first 4 episodes. Starting off, the series begins with this awesome battle sequence with Cure Sword. By the way, I absolutely love Cure Sword. She's just absolutely awesome. Yeah, awesome battle sequence. It was a great start. I think I actually liked it a lot better than Heartcatch opening sequence.
Ow!
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 Oh.
I think I'm gonna go crawl under my desk and cry now.
I'm not talking about the opening as in like the song. I'm talking about when the prologue.
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm.
No, I think we
I'm
know what
gonna go
you
crawl
mean.
under
I'm
my
serious.
desk and cry now.
And when I was watching the Raws for that, I flipped the gip when I saw it. It was really, I don't know how to describe it. I mean,
What about it? What about it did you like?
for one thing, it was already a dark time. It showed that it was a dark time. Like when in Heartcatch, you saw like, I think it was at the heart.
Yeah,
tree,
it was
right?
at the heart tree.
Yeah.
And then the big huge battle between Dark Precure and Moonlight, and ha ha ha! I have defeated you, Moonlight. No, you won't defeat me. There will be other Precures, but after me.
That was actually what got me into Pretty Cure. But as much as that one I really like Cure Sword's opening because she already showed it wasn't a one-on-one fight. That's the thing. If she was at a huge disadvantage already. It was like a soldier fighting an entire army. That's all it was. Even though you only get 3 monsters out of it, and she knows she lost. It was great. I think what I loved about it was that the realization of defeat for probably a seasoned hero. I always have this. Maybe it's because I'm cynical. I don't think I'm cynical, but I have a great feeling when the hero realizes that they can't win, and it's not really the fact that, oh, I'll try harder next time, or I'll do my best and recover what I lost. But no, she saw that she was defeated in that very moment, and I was just floored. I was thinking to myself, how are they going to fix this? What's going to happen from here? Like, she's still, unlike Cure Moonlight, who lost her Cure status until later in the series. Don't cry. Don't cry. But I want to see how this event hardened Cure Sword. Because we already know what Cure Sword is like from spoilers way back. And we have already seen how she is in the series, only with her few appearances. In the first probably 2 episodes, right? Yeah, in the first 2 episodes. You can tell she's a loner, and she's probably the strongest and most experienced. I think I have a fascination with the loner types, probably. I think it's just what attracts me to them the most. What actually made DokiDoki harder for me when I first started was Mana.
Oh, okay. Well, okay. Introduce Mana for those who do not know, who have not seen DokiDoki yet. What's she like?
Ida Mana is the main protagonist, or the leader Cure of the series, also known as Cure Heart. She is well-versed in sports, well-versed in academics, and she is the school's student council president. You don't really get a lot of that in Pretty Cure, where the main leader Cure is a student council president.
No, I was going to say that before the series started, I was really surprised. I was talking to you quite a lot about this, Leo, about how surprised I was. Because usually when you get student council presidents, and not just in Pretty Cure, but in general,
they're usually
anime
the blue
stuff,
ones.
Usually, yeah, they're usually the blue ones, and you immediately know, they're kind of stoic, they're highly intelligent, usually the Ojo type.
Actually, I want to correct you. Not really usually the blue ones. That was just the Cures that involved 5 of them. What's your name? What's the name of the heart catch? Itsuki was, Itsuki wasn't a blue.
Itsuki was yellow, but she wasn't the student council president.
Yes, she was.
I don't think she was, no.
Yes.
Was she? Okay.
She was the student council president, and then halfway through the series, they had, the runnings for student council president, and she's all like, I'm stepping down, I'm letting this guy take over, because I'm sure he will do fantastic with the school.
Okay. My mistake.
Where was I? With Mana?
Yeah. Well, still, you say student council president, and a specific character archetype immediately comes to mind, and Mana is a good exception to that.
She's a grand exception, actually, but I think it's her personality qualities that sets her apart from the other student council president types. Is she has the personality of most of the leader Cures, but she handles them differently and about as well as the student council types. Like, she's very responsible, she knows what to do, she puts everyone else before her, and I think that's one of the reasons why I probably didn't like her so much when I first saw it, because I think it was because it made her seem a little too perfect. Now, there is a difference, though, about this. There is a difference between seeming too perfect and butting into everyone's business versus butting into everyone's business and being stubborn about it. If you can guess who I'm talking about, points to you. No one? No one knows Nozomi?
Oh, okay.
I really do not like Nozomi. And it's probably why I think it's because when I started watching Precure 5, I saw Mana in Nozomi, and Nozomi in Mana. Except I found Mana a lot more tolerable than Nozomi. I'm serious.
No, I can understand where you're coming from, to be honest, because I like Mana overall, but if I had to say to pick out a flaw to her, then I would say that she doesn't really have a character weakness at the moment. We've gotten a little hint of that in episode 4.
That was grand. I was kind of happy about that. I was actually hoping... I'm so cynical. I was actually hoping that she would cry, because that's...
She does cry a little
but that's something I wanted to see, because we've never seen that.
I'm kind of wondering if she'll have a character arc that explains why she's always so busybody with people.
Yeah, I'm wondering if they'll actually do something with her, or if they're just gonna keep her treading along. Because the thing with Smile, the leader of Smile, and the name escapes me for some reason. Miyuki. Yeah, the thing with Miyuki was that she didn't really have a character weakness either, and didn't really get a character arc because of that.
But the thing is with her is that she may not have a character weakness, but they never really explored her properly. They just showed how stupid she was. That's actually pretty much a weakness, is that she was just pretty damn dumb.
It's not a very good weakness.
It's not, but she's pretty dumb.
My point is, though, that I'm not sure if they're going to actually introduce a weakness for Mana and have an arc that follows up on that, or whether it's just going to be like Miyuki, where here's her character traits and that's going to be her set for the entire
Yeah, I'm really
run.
hoping that they don't do that.
And part of me actually suspects that they're going to
Sadness.
do that. Just because I think just the way that she's been presented. But I hope that I'm wrong, and I hope that the little spark that you saw in episode 4 actually gets expanded on later.
She actually, one of the good things about Mana, which we've seen in episode 2, was that there is a hint of a flaw, a hint of a weakness, is that she will get involved, she will put herself out there, but she can't bear the guilt of hiding things. I think it's because that she has to put herself out there that if she doesn't involve anyone, it will hurt her, I think. Like, especially her closest friend, Rika, who she wanted to first tell the secret that she's a pretty cure to, but it didn't go well because Rika didn't believe her in the first place, and she had to keep it a secret in order to protect her. The way they played it was not only hilarious, I'm serious, I think that's what saved episode 2 for me. It not only was it hilarious, but you can kind of see that she really wanted to do something, not just for others, but for herself. Is that you can kind of see a little bit of closure, despite knowing the risks that she will take by telling someone, a civilian at the time, that she's a pretty cure. The risk that she will take, she was still willing to share that part of her with someone special. That sounded very Yuri of me.
Yeah, well, considering how everyone is sort of pairing them up, it's not really that far-fetched.
Yeah, it's not, no. You can kind of see it, but...
And I mean, like, with a quote like, "Can I be your swallow?" Come on!
Yeah, a little bit. That whole metaphor
I was just like,
a bit
wow.
weird.
Are you sure you want to be saying this on public television?
No, I think they make a good pair. I think they make a good pair.
They do. They're probably one of the most perfect partner pairs since Saki and Mai and what's her name, Hibiki and Kanade. Yeah, they're one of the most perfect pairs. They do really well with each other.
Yeah, but the only thing about them being a pair is that it's not really a pair; it's trio, right from the beginning. Because in episode 3, they introduce
Alice.
Well, it's episode 4. Yeah, the episode Alice. Yes.
Oh, Alice.
And
Oh, Alice.
Oh, Al.
How about Alice is pretty damn
can
cool.
Can we keep the giant rampaging monster?
And then, Sebastian, here, I'm going to pull down this big, huge projector screen so that everyone can see your transformation.
Alice was pretty cool. There's a lot of fan art regarding that scene. That was hilarious.
Alice, you're so rich.
I know, right?
Why are you so rich?
There's a lot of fan art regarding that one scene where she pulls down the screen and shows the magnificence of hidden cameras. And it varies. It varies to funny to not safe for work, but it's hilarious.
There's always not safe for work when it comes to Pretty Cure.
But it's still hilarious.
Yeah,
Let me just say, the fan art is great. That's why I love fan art now and then. Before we get to Alice, let's talk about Rika for a bit.
Oh, Rika.
Okay.
She is an excellent foil to Mana's character. As I said, Mana I do not like very much. Her perfection part annoys me. I think Rika is the part of Mana that sets her straight and reminds her that there is something wrong with her. And I'm not saying that...
Oh, that's such a harsh way to put it.
But that's how it is. I mean, without Rika, Mana would probably be...
Work herself to a stupor.
Yeah, if no one's there to moderate her, then Mana would probably just be taking up the screen 24/7.
Leo, you're my best friend because you remind me there's something wrong with me.
God. I'm so glad that I can help you with that.
I know.
But how many
BFFs.
times has Rika said something about Mana that not only is she concerned for her well-being, but with how she is, how she puts herself out there. Even after finding out that she's a pretty cure, she still does not want Mana to
Overwork.
handle everything on her own. And this lasts for 2 episodes. I think Rika is one of my more favorite characters at the moment. It's because of that fact. It's because she is one of the most excellent best friend characters.
She really is.
I've seen Splash Star. I've seen Futari wa and I've seen Sweet, but Rika is definitely by far one of the most excellent best friend characters I've seen.
Funnily enough, I'm surprised you didn't mention Rin from Yes Pretty Cure 5.
Who?
Rin.
Oh, Rin. Yes, I forgot about her. That's actually because I haven't been watching a lot of Precure 5. I'm getting there. So I don't really know a lot about her to make a judgment. I would say Erica. I would say Erica, but I really feel like she can't stay in one place for too long.
Erica is not a ground.
Yeah, Erica is not
all.
Tsubomi's friend. She is everyone's friend.
No. What I was getting at is that all these other best friends act as a ground to the main character. Erica is not a ground. Erica, if nothing else, fills you full of electricity.
Erica is the devil on Tsubomi's shoulder. That's what Erica is.
No, Erica is the devil on the fashion walkway.
Ah, I love Erica. She is the glorious.
Oh, Erica. Oh, Erica.
But Rika, I think, has great development to become one of the better Pretty Cure partners to the leader Cure, at least. Because I know we talked about a trio, but Alice feels like, I don't know. I don't really see Alice having too much of a partnership with
Well,
any of
to be
them.
fair, we've only seen her in one episode, so they're probably going to delve into their friendship.
We are only in episode 4, so...
Yeah, so you can't really make too much of a judgment at this point in time.
I know, but Rika's awesome. I mean, I think it's her passion. It's her passion for not everyone, but just Mana is what I think is one of something we haven't had in Precure. That usually Precure has the drive to protect everyone around them, or to do what's right. For Rika, it's the drive to protect Mana, who is the most special to her at the moment. Again, with the Yuri reference.
No, I think I would disagree with you on that one. I think because passion does come from wanting to protect everyone, but she wants to protect everyone along with Mana.
Really?
I think Mana brings out a better side of Rika.
So it's more like more of the opposite of what I said earlier, where Rika brings out the best out of Mana.
Okay.
No, I think they bring out the best in both of them.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but I just wanted to say that when you said passion, all I could think of was Setsuna. I'm just all like, wait,
I haven't gotten there yet. Stop
I'm like,
it.
Setsuna? What? Huh?
I think you did that last time.
Did
too.
I?
You did that last time. You did that last time. You mentioned Setsuna.
Yeah, well, it's Setsuna. I like Setsuna.
Next up on our topic, we also have Alice, who in our last episode just became a Pretty Cure, and probably one of the most. Actually, her episode was pretty awesome, to be honest. She's probably one of the.
I really liked her episode.
She's probably one of the most interesting cures I've seen so far.
Hey, look! A cure that isn't a Mary Sue!
Yeah, and in terms of her background, did you see that flashback?
Oh, man.
I'm
Yeah,
serious.
that was pretty
How
good.
about when her pupils shrunk and showed the angry face? Did you just see the eye, but the pupil shrunk, and you could see her getting mad? How about I literally screamed, I'm like, oh, snap, son, it's going down!
Way that my
seriously yelled
The way
at.
that my roommate described it, it was like going Higurashi in Pretty Cure.
Yeah! They've never done that in Pretty Cure. I've never seen that done in Pretty Cure, where they got mad to a specific point. Like, maybe Black. Black has done that, but not so...
Black and White have both done
Really?
that.
Oh, yeah, they have.
Yeah.
They did that in the movie. They did that... I think they did that in the first series, but I've never seen anyone outside of Pretty Cure form to just go ballistic. It's great. It's mostly because she's probably a rare case of being a Pretty Cure having training outside of just being superpowered when they become Pretty Cure. Like Itsuki was a martial arts expert. I think Reika was a martial arts.
Yeah,
expert.
she was into archery.
She also does Aikido, doesn't she? Yeah, she does Aikido. But we have someone who does a whole range of stuff. Like, not just Aikido. She does Judo. She does Karate. I'm like, really? I was not expecting that at all. I really wasn't.
See, now
Again-
I'm just sort of imagining Alice and Itsuki sparring. Oh my god.
Well, they are yellow
They
Cure,
are.
but that would be great.
Well, remember she's out of practice as
She
well.
is out of practice, but she still got it. Have you seen her? Have you seen how she fights? By the way, before I continue on with Cure Rosetta's talk, if you watch episode 3, someone please tell me that Cure Diamond's fight was pretty disappointing.
I liked it.
There was not enough. She went straight for finisher. She didn't do anything.
That's pretty normal. though.
No, that's the thing. It's like she hasn't done much. She just transformed, watches Cured Heart, and then all of a sudden she gets a new Cure Lovies, and I'm like,
Well,
really?
to be fair, Cure Heart had, pretty much, I guess, softened the selfish up for her. I'm trying to remember because it's been a while since I've watched the episode.
It's Jikochu.
What?
No, I call it selfish.
Really? Yeah, I don't think
Yeah,
I
I
don't
call-
think I want to keep calling it Jikochu, to be honest.
Selfish E.
You don't
Remember, there's an E
Yeah.
at the end.
Yeah,
selfish.
selfish.
I prefer to just call it selfish. That's my preferred translation.
So
for
what
it.
were you saying about that fight again?
Okay, yeah. Remember, what happens is that her big point in it basically comes before she transforms, because she has to kind of fight against the monster in order to stop it, essentially, while she's in civilian form. And that's her big contribution to the battle. And then, she transforms and everything afterwards, but she's already kind of earned her new power. And it happened when she was as a civilian.
True. She did, like, in the second episode, she's just like, I'm gonna push this button here and hope I don't die.
So technically,
Yeah.
you're saying that she did fight, just not as a pre-cure.
She did, yes, but you can also argue that it was the fight that caused her to become a pre-cure.
I getcha.
Especially since the whole point of the episode was that she didn't think she was special. However, the fact that she fought the monster as a normal person before she became a pre-cure proved that she was special and had
Are
the
you
heart
mixing
to
up both of the
actually
monsters
take
that
up the
she
power.
was a part of? Because there was the first one where she, with the walking light.
There's a traffic light, and then there's the mailbox.
I'm talking about the
Okay.
traffic light one.
Well, yeah.
Was that in a different episode?
Yeah, those were different.
Yeah, episode 2 was the traffic light, and then episode 3 was the mailbox.
Oh right, I'm just getting
Yeah.
them
Yeah.
completely
I
mixed
think
up
I was
then.
just a little weirded out. Was that normally when they transform, I'm so used to seeing this big fight before they do the finisher. She went straight for the finisher, and I was like, really? That's
Well,
pretty much
to
it.
me-
That's what I literally
Well,
thought.
if you think about it, she wants to protect Mana, so she's gonna automatically go to the finisher just to make sure that Mana's okay.
Did she finish the monster, or did she just hurt him?
I think she hurt.
Yeah, she did. She
No,
finishes
she
him
finishes
because
him. She
the little
finishes him.
heart, like, I guess, flies whenever she's done.
What are they called? What are they called again? Remind the listeners what they're called. The Psyche?
Psych.
They're called Psyche.
Are,
I think they're called the
are
Psyche.
they? Honestly, I don't. Okay.
Yeah, the hearts that come out of the people are called the
Okay.
Psyche.
All right. Then we can continue on with Cure Rosetta. Your opinions about her?
I like her. I think she's a really interesting character. She's got her own little thought process going on, which I think makes her interesting. The fact that she's incredibly rich is played more for comedy than drama, which I think is amazing. She's certainly got the most interesting backstory of the three as we've seen, and it just remains to be seen whether or not they actually decide to do anything with that, or whether it's just going to be one of these things that just gets, we resolved that back in episode 4, let's not refer to that again. I'd be very interested to see how her character actually develops from this point on. If I had to say, I'd say to a limited extent she's got the same problem that Mana does, in that she doesn't really have a character flaw.
Well, this is her first episode.
Or rather, there's no from the episodes that I've seen so far, there's nothing, I can't really put a finger on something that I'd call a flaw, except maybe the fact that she has a bit of a different, she thinks about things differently than other people do, but I don't know if I'd really call that a flaw.
But regarding her hesitation to transform and to actually fight, How do you think that will hinder her, or do you think that will continue to hinder her in future episodes?
I really don't know if that will continue to hinder her. Part of me, the cynical part of me, suspects that that's just going to get swept under the rug now, because they'll say, right, she dealt with that back in episode 4, now she can be a precure. I would love for them to actually do more regarding that topic, regarding more about how to use your power, using it responsibly. The fact that you could actually hurt someone with that power as well. I'd like to see how she responds to that. That could be a good arc
There
for
is
her.
something that I hope that they do again. Surfboarding on the limo.
That
was
was
fun.
awesome. She is by far one of the most hilarious characters in DokiDoki. I love her. I absolutely
And
love
okay,
her.
and did you notice in the episode when they're fighting the iPod monster that they've actually got earplugs in their ears? Did you guys notice that?
I didn't notice
No,
that.
I
I was looking at Alice. I'm like, do you have earplugs in your ears? What is this?
I never
I
noticed.
didn't even notice that. I'm gonna have to rewatch the episode
Maybe
now.
it's because their hair is so long that, I never really notice their ears when their hair is so long. But it's Alice. I have to pay attention to that a little more
Also,
now.
there's something else that I noticed, and I don't remember if I mentioned this to you, Redkun, but in the opening, in the first 2 episodes, Rika is reading a different book. In the 3rd and 4th episode, she's reading the Uncyclopedia.
The Uncyclopedia? Seriously?
I'm not kidding. I was tempted to put it on Tumblr, but I completely forgot about it.
You should.
Oh,
you
wow.
should. Well, actually, I actually would like to post that picture and take a screenshot of it.
Well,
and then send it
I
to
took
me. And
screenshots.
then I'll
I was
definitely
just going to
up.
put it on Tumblr and be like, hey guys, Rika's reading the Uncyclopedia. How do you un-encyclopedia?
Now we gotta make this a habit. We have to make this a habit for every future episode of the CureCast to pay attention to what Rika is doing in the opening sequence.
Because, like,
I'd actually love to
I
see
was
it.
surprised. At first I was like, okay, I could have sworn she was reading a different book. And then I looked between takes. I was like, oh, what is this?
So what was she reading the first
She was just
one?
reading a
The first
book
two?
that had, like, different colors on it. And at first I thought the book was, like, symbolism, because it looked like it had blue, pink, and orange, but then it had green at the bottom, so I was like, okay, never mind, it's not symbolism.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what do you think about Rosetta's finisher, though? That's something we haven't seen since, I guess, Cure Mint, who is purely a defensive type.
Mint is a defensive type.
Yeah, wasn't Sunshine a
No,
defensive
she
type?
was, but she also did have a finisher that didn't involve having a shield that completely, obliterated you.
Oh, no. Yeah, her finisher is never really protected. But I've never seen Cure Mint's finisher finish someone, to be honest. I've only been, like I said, I just started watching Yes 5 recently, and how they handle finishers is that they leave it all up to Cure Dream.
Spoiler, didn't they technically do that in the Yes Pretty Cure 5 movie, that Mint's finish, like a final power, not final power up, but her...
Yeah.
Finisher.
Yeah, Mint gets an offensive power. Yeah, because each of the cures in Yes Precure 5 gets a power up, which basically gives them a second finisher move, and Mint gets Emerald Saucer, which is an offensive move.
I thought Emerald Saucer was a defensive move.
Emerald Saucer's from Go-Go, though, isn't it?
No, I think Emerald Saucer becomes her main attack in
Okay.
Go-Go, but I think she gets it's her power up attack in Yes Precure 5. I'm sure.
So what do you think will be Rosetta Wall's thing? Because what we've seen so far was that Rosetta Wall is sort of like a barrier.
Mm-hmm.
Even though it's mostly on the hands, it can do a lot, but we haven't seen it used literally offensively. It's been figuratively used offensively, where she does the whole noise canceling thing. But how do you think she'll actually attack with it, or if she'll ever purify anyone with it?
I don't know. It'd be interesting to see exactly what they do.
That's what I'm wondering, because when we first saw the episode, I thought that she was going to be a mix of a more defensive than offensive type, but she does have offensive capabilities. She's not defensive. She's not completely defensive like Shiny Luminous, who, throughout the entire time she ever fights, has never landed a punch ever.
Well, she's a support party member. She's not a Precure exactly.
Yeah, but she. Oh, true.
She's a power-up character essentially. She's not really. She's there to support Black and White. She's not there to fight in their place, which is actually one of the more interesting ways I've seen the whole extra ranger concept being used.
But I'm talking about like Cure Rosetta's ability to fight. Will she actually be more offensive or defensive at this point?
To be honest, I see her doing a lot of what Cure Sunshine did, because even though you said that Cure Sunshine is an offensive move, which she did, really, most of the stuff that she did in the big choreographed fights was be the defensive line, essentially.
I don't remember Cure Sunshine's fight.
Yeah, she does a lot of defense.
Yeah, as a solo fighter, she does offense and defense quite well, but when it's the big gigantic fights against, big monsters where it's all four of them, more often than not, she'll be the defensive line.
So, do you think Cure Rosetta's going to be doing that too, then?
It wouldn't surprise me if she were.
I'd like to see them do more kind of acrobatic stuff with it, because the thing with Cure Sunshine's shield was that it was kind of big, and you put it up, and that was the one thing you could do. But with Cure Rosetta, it seems like the shields are a lot smaller and attached to her arms. So, for example, could she jump up in midair, swing the shield around, and smash ball of energy back at the enemy, for instance?
You said smash, and I'm all like, Rosetta smash!
Yeah!
Yeah! But, I mean, could she do more acrobatic things with it instead of just put up a shield?
That's what I'm worried about, is that...
Worried?
Well, I'm actually worried that that's what they'll keep her around for, is that we'll probably not properly see her purify a selfish.
I think it would be awesome if she did
I'd like
that.
to see what... I really want to see what they're going to do with that, to be honest.
Mm-hmm. By the way, did anyone laugh when Rika suddenly said, noise cancelling? Because it's like... Okay, I understand what noise cancelling is. It's kind of a slightly advanced bit of science and sound, but they didn't mean... Usually in this case, there's a setup for it. They explain ahead of time what noise cancelling is.
No, see, the only thing that I'm really thinking about is how Mana made me feel old.
Oh no, you're not old.
You guys talked about it. You guys talked
stupid.
about it the other day. What is that?
She's just...
Oh, the thing is that Mana, or like Rika's all like, oh my god, it's a boombox, and Mana's just like, what's that? And I'm just like, no, Mana, why would you say that?
Mana's just stupid.
I know, but it just reminds me that a lot of the kids these days,
technology used
a lot of the things kids know is just iPods and computers, and then.
True.
You forget that there's a such thing as a boombox, which is just like
and
maybe
the
like
fact that it was connected by wire.
Oh, it was plugged in too.
It was plugged in, just like my mom's boombox.
Oh.
It's still plugged in. You don't even use a battery. It's literally plugged in, which I have to figure out how that works for a monster.
Oh.
That was actually pretty nice what they did with the monsters.
I think it was. It was a good joke.
Yeah, They honestly, I think they're being a little bit more creative with the monsters this season. Like, it's not a monster. They're thinking about ways that the monster is still slightly realistic, especially since the first Jikochu we've seen were animals. Then all of a sudden we got a traffic light, and then it has a weakness, which was the button on its butt. Get it? And then we have the mailbox, which I don't really see much. I really didn't know what was going on with that one.
Well, the thing about it is that there's not really a theme to the Monsters of the Week this time.
But they're being creative with it, to be honest. Like,
they're being creative, but there's not really any kind of theme or anything at all. I mean, like, for example, Fresh Precure, all of the monsters in that were, I think, well, if I remember rightly, most of the monsters in Fresh Precure were machines of some sort.
Yeah, they were like just whatever. Well, they were either machines or animals. That's the thing.
Machines or animals, yeah. And in Heartcatch, they were all, well, there was the there was the design of them, which was kind of kept quite distinctive, but all of them were inner rage and stuff.
And they were also whatever they could find nearby, which sometimes made little sense.
Yeah, that was true, but they still had kind of a good design aesthetic in
They
common.
were pretty simple. Those were actually pretty simple. I think what they're doing this time around was, well, they're not really as simple as Smiles. Smile is pretty simple. Smile is unbelievably simple.
No, I'm not sure. I haven't quite decided on it. I think I prefer the Monsters of the Week to have a proper theme going. I want to actually be able to kind of look at a monster and be able to tell what series it's from.
You mean like references, especially since this is the 10th anniversary one?
Well, more a case of if you showed me a picture of the monster, I would be able to tell you what series it's from.
But that's because they have defining features like Zakena and Kawaii. Uzaina, that's the one.
I don't think I could do that with the Selfish Monsters. If they didn't have the black heart on them, I don't think I could tell them apart at all.
So it's you saying that it's a lot easier if they were distinguishable.
Yeah, it's like, with Sweet Precure, for instance, all of the monsters had skeletal parts to them because they were based on noise. In Fresh Precure, all of them, if I remember right, had robotic parts.
Is it sad that I just now realized that all of the monsters from Sweet looked like noise? Yeah. It's dawning on me now. I'm like, oh, that's why they all have skeletons.
Yep.
It's nothing. It's not something you really notice until it's been pointed out. To be honest.
It's like mind blown.
Really
yeah, and so I would have liked some kind of distinguishing feature on or design on the monsters in DokiDoki that wasn't just they've got a black heart on them somewhere. That's my preference, though.
Yeah, I see what you mean. I mean, they're pretty generic in terms of design, but at the same time, while they're generic and realistic, they also become realistically weak. They have their own weaknesses, which makes a lot more sense nowadays.
I do agree with you. I do like the fact that they're actually being very creative with the monsters this time. I like it when they have something, not something distinctive, but rather, like you say, when they do something really creative with the monster ideas. So you've got like,
how to beat them, kind of.
Well, not just that, but in what they do as well. You know, it's like the letterbox that eats letters and stuff, the crab that busts through queues, etc.
I actually do not understand those, to be honest. I really don't. I really don't understand the animal ones.
They're bizarre, but that's their point, is they're bizarre.
Well, we got what? How many more episodes? We're only on episode 4, so we'll see what else they'll do. It'll be great.
Mm-hmm. What do you think of the selfish monsters when you compare them to the Desertorians from Heartcatch?
Oh.
In terms of what?
Well, in terms of the concept of them are very similar. Because in Heartcatch, the monsters were made from someone's inner frustrations and thoughts.
And with whatever they could find in their vicinity.
Well, yeah, but the point of the monsters was they were pretty much an embodiment of that person's frustrations. And in the selfish are also an embodiment of that person's
Not so
frustrations.
much frustration, but, something that's really troubling them, emotionally. Or
whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
It's whatever makes them weaker. It's the thing is with.
So what do you think? What do you think comparing the two concepts?
The thing is with selfishness, I don't think really would be that big of should be big of an issue, because as you see when they think about it, their darkness grows. But when they realize that it's just them being stupid, it goes back until someone instigates. It's not like, I guess it shows a weakness of the human heart, but it's not as emotional, but it's just a passing thing, though. It's not really as emotionally troubling as some of the people in Heartcatch.
Like Miura with the ramen thing. He's really upset because his father's paying more attention to the ramen shop instead of, hey, I have a baseball game coming up. You said you were going to support me. What's up with this?
Or that girl, I forget her name, but she was the older sister who had to take care of the younger sister after the mom died.
Oh, God!
I honestly found that as a heavy episode, but if you know what I mean, when it becomes emotionally troubling to a point that it's not just a passing thing, it's something that lingers, and it's what sets them apart. It's what sets the Desertarians and the Selfish apart, is that they are more troubled, and that darkness is what makes them stronger, instead of just this passing thing that's saying, oh, I wish I can control all the stoplights so then I won't be troubled by this anymore, or I wish I can cut in line because I don't want to wait here anymore because I've been waiting for hours, that kind of thing. It's just a passing thing. It's not that big of a deal.
Yeah. Have you actually noticed that so far in the 4 episodes we've had, the Selfish has never been the central focus of the plot?
That's actually very true. I hadn't even thought about that until now.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I mean, okay, compare it to the first episode of Heartcatch Precure, in which Erica gets turned into a Desertorian.
Baby! No!
I know. Yes, but I mean, the plot is very much both about how Tsubomi is moving to a new town and meeting new friends, but the plot is also about Erica and the problems that she's having, not just with her sister, but with the fashion club, etc., etc. The plot is about both of them. In the episodes of DokiDoki we've seen so far, the Selfish is
really
never
the
focus of the main. No, it's never the
like
focus
I said,
of the main.
it's just a passing thing. That's why it doesn't.
Yeah. For example, because I mean, for example, the second episode, you've got the traffic light Selfish, where Selfish gets created from a guy who wants to run all the lights. The focus of that episode is certainly not on this guy. I don't think we even learn his name.
He's just random kid number 1.
Random kid who wants to run the lights. Instead, the focus of the episode is on Mana, and it's on Rika, and it's on their conflict, and the Selfish is just kind of an afterthought in that case. It kind of shows I think that's the main difference in how the two shows are approaching this really interesting concept of making a monster from someone's inner darkness.
But they're literally picking people off the streets. Like, they're really scraping the bottom of the barrel. Like, unlike the Desertarians who actually choose who they're looking for, they're just people that they find off the streets.
That's because those types of thoughts are always in people.
That's why I say that they're just a passing thing, is because they're really not that important. They're like, these monsters are literally monsters based on first world problems. I am not joking.
Okay, so instead of Selfish, it's first world problem.
First, they should be called first world problems.
There we go.
I'm going to name this episode First World Problems. No, I'm kidding. But we actually got to keep moving on. We're a little over the time limit. Up next, we have the Open My Heart Corner, which basically, Open My Heart is, you can tell, a reference to Heartcatch Precure. I know you love that. Open My Heart showcases what the fandom has done over the course of the season, including fan fiction, fan art, scanlations, or subgroups. In today's episode of the CureCast, we will be talking about what it's like working on Pretty Cure fan subs, featuring someone who actually has worked with subgroup, and that would be Redkun.
Wait, but I've also worked with like subs, sort of, kind of.
You did?
Well,
yeah. I did not know that.
I wrote it in my application. I like with Ari and I subs. I was actually one of the typesetters for like the the first few episodes, and they're like, "Oh, well, we're merging with someone else. We don't need you anymore." I mean, like, which is fine because I was in college and I didn't really have enough time to go over all of the script to see if they had any typos.
That's actually great because I only was thinking of Redkun when we were doing this.
I see how it is.
So
I'm not important anymore.
No. Please don't do that. Please don't do that. Not while we're doing this. Please don't do that. But I'm actually excited because this is something I want to talk about which is basically the challenges working with fan subs and what's it like getting first-hand experience with Pretty Cure before the episode gets released.
Okay, well, yeah, just to let people know, I worked with CureCom for a while. I was actually one of the first people who started CureCom, and I worked on Fresh Precure for a while, but then university bogged me down really bad, and the other people who were working there picked up the slack and went on to release the rest of Fresh Precure, and they did a really good job of it. Was really proud of them.
What was your role in CureCom?
I did everything to begin with.
He really did, because I looked at the first few episodes and his name is like everywhere.
So what? You're like the founder? You're literally one of the founders of CureCom?
Pretty much, yeah.
Wow.
It's not something I really like to brag about because I'm not really involved with them anymore. It wasn't anything. It wasn't like we had a falling out or anything. It's just the fact I had university, and I just wasn't able to put in as much time as I could beforehand.
Now, where does that put you? Do you still keep in contact with the people you've worked with, or?
I really want to, but I don't hang out in IRC that much, and the CureCom channel is on IRC. I have met with KOR quite a few times in real life.
Oh.
Because we've both gone to the same anime conventions before, so we've met up and we've chatted for a bit there. It's been pretty cool. And because when CureCom started, it was literally a case of there was someone in the Precure LiveJournal group who I think we were just kind of chatting or something like that, and talking. I think this was when Fresh Precure had just come out or something like that. Yeah, it was when Fresh Precure just came out, and back then, of course, no one was actually subbing it.
Then again, to be fair, not a lot of people were subbing much of anything.
No, this was back in the days when Ari and I think Ari and I had just stopped subbing stuff because they got annoyed that people were. I think they ran low on time, and they got annoyed that people kept bugging them about it. So they'd just stopped subbing Yes Precure 5.
And this is when the curse of Yes Precure 5 began.
Yeah, unfortunately. Someone was on. It was like someone who was learning Japanese or was learning the language, and she was just like, "Yeah, I translated the first like 3 minutes of Fresh Precure, and I've always been interested in doing fan subs, and I'd gotten some tips from some friends and such who'd already done them, and I was like, yeah, I could whip up a fan sub of that in about an hour or two." And so I did. I downloaded the RAW, I did a bit of video editing, and I whipped up a RAW based on this script, and then that got a really good response, and then people were like, yeah, you should do the entire episode, and so we did the entire episode, and that's kind of how the subgroup got born. And then people who knew more about actually timing things and encoding things, because when we started, I was pretty much doing everything, and this was the first time I'd done stuff, so this was me learning how to encode video for the first time, and time for the first time. And then there were people who knew that stuff better than I did, so they came on and they helped out.
So beyond podcast experience, you've actually done a lot of subbing stuff.
I've done quite a bit of subbing stuff, yeah, and I've also done. I'm really interested in the localization side of things, so I'll get into a lot of discussions about how certain localization choices are made. For me, I prefer being a very dynamic subber. I'm of the philosophy that subs should include as little of the source language as possible. So I'm like, no honorifics, all puns must be translated.
So basically, it's more of the English language speakers would relate with, or whatever language the subs are subbed in.
Yeah, you got to realize that at this time, something that was really popular were. Have you ever seen TV Neon subs?
I got into Pretty Cure with TV Neon's Heartcatch subs.
Okay, I haven't seen their Heart Catch subs, but TV Nihon is a group that's quite, I'd say, infamous for leaving in honorifics, leaving phrases untranslated and stuff, because they make the argument that there are phrases that you can't translate properly, doesn't have cultural context and stuff. I'm of the opinion that's a bit of hogwash, and I just remove all. To put it politely, I believe that's hogwash. I believe everything can be translatable if you put in the time and effort to understand the cultural context.
Redkun,
And
your British is coming out.
Okay.
really,
You said hogwash.
Ran-
That's kind of
randomly,
Kinda.
how far in Fresh did you get? Because I don't remember how, like, when it was that your name sort of disappeared off the series.
I believe I did up to episode 5, and I did a few of the later episodes as well, because you at this time it was a case of we had like the first 5 episodes translated, and then someone translated like episode 16 and 17, so we're just like, okay, we've got 16 and 17, let's just do 16 and 17 then. The big problem that we had for a long time was translators, because our first translator translated the first 3 episodes and then disappeared off the face of the earth, and then the substitute translator came in for the next few episodes and then disappeared off the face
I'm
of the
not
earth.
the only one that uses the phrase that disappears off the face of the earth. Yay!
Yay! And so I believe the rest of the CureCom group, for a long time, I think there was someone submitted anonymous scripts to them, but then we discovered that they were mostly really bad, guess translations.
It's like Google Translate.
Oh my god!
Yeah, well, Google Translate, but then cleaned up a bit, essentially.
Okay.
And then I believe they got translators from other groups, and Magenta, who now still works with CureCom and is doing DokiDoki, and is in with Overtime as well, came in as their translator and helped do the rest of Fresh Precure.
Now, Leo, you said you were from part of Ari and I. What era of Ari and I were you part of? Were you part of the
Futari Web Pretty
Futari
Cure,
Web?
yeah. I was like, when they first started.
When did they first start? Did they use DVD? They used DVD RAWs, didn't they?
I don't think they used DVD RAWs. I think they used, like, TV RAWs.
Really?
I'd have to check the subs to see if the clock's in the top left hand corner for that.
They were not. They were not in the top left, so I thought they were using DVD RAWs.
Well, when they first started, they were using TV RAWs.
Oh, well, that's the case. That's kind of old. I haven't watched.
Really,
really
I haven't seen
Futari Wa in a long time.
Like, they gave me the script, and then, they wanted me to see if it would flow well with the actual scene itself. And
so, what was your role in Ari and I?
Pretty much that, and I made the webpage. And one of my worst jobs ever, now that I look back at it.
So, how does it feel that you were you look back at it now, how does it feel that you were a part of a group that first started Pretty Cure subtitles?
Honestly, because I really love Pretty Cure, and I really wanted to get into it, so I was really glad that they gave me a chance to at least do something with the episodes. But then, like I said, because they grouped up with somebody else and I had college to go to, they're just like, we don't need you anymore, it's okay, thank you.
That was such a shame.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, it happened.
I mean, I really wish I'd stayed with CureCom more, because I loved doing it, because my main job was doing editing, and, well, rather, the thing that I took away the most from was actually doing the editing and doing the localization, and I adored doing that. But, like I say, university just kicked my ass, and then we ran into problems, and so it was a big mess. But I really wish I'd stayed around for longer.
But did you guys enjoy yourselves?
Oh yeah,
did it feel like a chore at some point?
I mean, it was really hard work because if you edit something, you have to go through the right people, and if they don't like what you edited, then you have to go back, and pretty much it had to be perfect. But I really wouldn't change that time that I had with Ari and I subs, because, again, Pretty Cure, and I love Pretty Cure.
If you two were given the chance to go back into fan subbing, especially because, most of the Pre-Cure series by now has already been subbed, and all that's left to catch up is for Go-Go to finish. Would you guys take the chance to start doing Pretty Cure subs again?
I'd like to.
I really would.
To be honest. I mean, to answer your question about whether it was stressful or not. I mean, I didn't have the problems that Leo had about delegating, because literally it was a 2-person operation. One person doing translating, the other person, i.e. me, doing absolutely everything else. But I mean, doing an episode was a full day job essentially.
Really?
To do it well, it was a full day job. Just you sit down, you time the entire episode, you type in all the subs, you edit it so it looks good and sounds good, and then you have to run through. I think I must have watched every episode of that I subbed about 10 or so times, because I had to be my own quality checker as well. And I'm a bit of a perfectionist as well, so I really wanted everything to look as good as it possibly could be. So, like that again, going back to, when you're in one of the last years of university and you're stressed enough, you really don't have time to set aside one day and actually go through all of that, sadly. But if I could get back into it, I would absolutely love to. I would love to actually do some editing on DokiDoki if possible, if only because my preferred translation for the Selfish group is not currently in use.
Oh.
Yeah, I use it Selfish with no E. That's just my preferred translation.
That was an interesting choice, them putting an E at the very end of Selfish.
Yeah, I don't know why they put a silent E at the end of Selfish. Maybe so that it didn't seem like the noun selfish, but the way I look at it is that the phrase that they use, the jikoku, literally means selfishness. It's not really a proper name. It's both a name and describes the act of selfishness, so which is why I would call it just selfish on its own. Doremi calls them selfishness, which is not wrong at all, and it's a perfectly decent translation. I just think it sounds a little bit awkward to call them selfishness.
Now, do you guys, for our listeners, have anything to say to anyone who's listening right now, who are either currently in groups or are aspiring to become part of a subgroup?
Can I just say one more thing before I answer that? Just another reason I really want to get back into it is just because I really like doing the characterization. Is a lot of fun. Giving a unique voice to every character is a lot of fun. Figuring out how to best represent the Japanese text without having to resort to stuff like honorifics and things is a whole lot of fun. I look back at the first episodes that I did, and I see the things that I would have improved, the things I enjoyed doing, the things that I would have changed. For instance, I think in the first episode, Love introduces herself, and then I say the line. For example, the line in Japanese basically says that she spells it with the katakana instead of hiragana, and I would have changed the translation that I put in. So I mean, it's stuff like that. It's stuff I would go back and change, but I just really enjoy that aspect of translation work, and that's why I would want to go back and do more of it. In response to the question about anything I would say to the subgroups, I think all the subgroups are doing a really good job at the moment. CureCom group still does a great job. Their subs are full of life, full of character that I really like. Doremi does a fantastic job as well, and they bring out the subs really quickly, which I really appreciate. I think everyone really appreciates it, and I like the fact that all their subs are nice and clean and aren't overburdened with horrible karaoke effects, which is a pet peeve of mine. It's a real huge pet peeve of mine. And like I say, the only big gigantic problem I have, and it's not even a gigantic problem, is the selfish thing. But even then, the translations are perfectly nice, so I'm fine. That's just a personal choice on my part. So keep on doing what you're doing. You're doing great. I enjoy watching your subs, and keep on rocking.
The only advice I could give aspiring fan subber ease is you just need to make sure you have the time to devote to whatever project you are trying to get into, because if you don't, people are not going to wait for you because they have a deadline to get stuff done.
Yeah, it's tempting to join like one of these speed groups and just rush something out, but I find the quality really suffers in that case. You really need to devote the time to it. You can't just rush it out for the sake of getting first
So
done.
in short, it's like treating it like school. You don't mess around with your project until last minute.
Also, learn the language as well, I think.
Learning the language
is important. Yeah, I mean, you don't have to be proficient in it. I mean, I'm not proficient in Japanese. I certainly know more than your average person about how Japanese works and the phonetics behind it and the cultural context and stuff. But if you just learn how it's put together and what certain words mean in context and things, then it will just make your entire life a lot easier to do. And also start simply, I think is a really good bit of advice to give. Don't be concerned with doing fancy effects or author's notes or things, or like showing your work and things. Don't start with something that's really, really complicated. I mean, Pretty Cure is a very good starter series because the language is quite simple.
it is.
I think. Yeah, it's a show pitched at the reading level of 6 to 8 year olds. So the language is very simple, and often you can pick up what the language means based on context. So it's quite an easy series to get into. What other advice do you think you'd give?
Don't let it stress you out too much, because if you take on too many projects or, do too much with a specific series, it will bog you down and it will make you want to tear out your hair and not want to do anything anymore.
Yeah, that's a good thing. Yeah, do it don't let it stress you out. It should be a hobby for yourself. It should be fun. You should enjoy doing it.
Wow. That's actually pretty cool because, I've never really, I try not to be selfish. Selfish. I try not to be selfish about fan subs and like, oh, I want these to come out really quickly, or oh, I'm very picky about the translations and how they go about it. It's more so that I appreciate the hard work you guys put into your fan subs, especially because you're doing something that probably might not even be done officially. Like, you might not even get like official subs or official localization of Pretty Cure, So kudos to you guys. You guys are the greatest.
Futari Pretty Cure was like at least sub-licensed by Funimation, so you can at least see the first season. Yes,
really?
Actually.
Yeah, it was dubbed and everything.
It was dubbed in Canada, but it's only subbed in America.
Really? And let our listeners know where you can find this, because that's something new to me.
You can go to like Funimation.com and it'll be on their list somewhere, or you can go to Vio.com, I think, and it'll be there too. Because I think Vio and Funimation have a deal going on so that you can have.
I haven't heard of Vio in so many years since I first started watching Kamen Rider. I am not lying. I have not heard of Vio since Kamen Rider.
But yeah, Funimation has the rights to at least subbing Futari Pretty Cure in America.
All right, that's wasn't it supposed to be done by 4Kids? Didn't 4Kids license it?
I think 4Kids got the license, but then they sat on the license, and then they had the problems where they basically went bankrupt and lost the license, and it got picked up by Funimation.
Nice. Wow. That's great. Actually, this was some experience. This was actually quite an experience because I never really knew about these things. I actually never really knew. I just assumed the troubles subgroups go through, especially when sometimes they take a while with the releases, or if they're not doing weekly releases, like say they sub an episode that's just been aired, they take some time with when they release the next episode. I mean, Doremi is doing DokiDoki, and on the side they're doing 5 Go Go. That's got to be something special for them because they they're doing 2 projects at once, and despite what it is, those are pretty big projects because Go Go is not a side series; it's a legit actual season, and you really don't want to skip that. It's like subbing Kamen Rider Black, but not subbing Black RX.
Yeah, I have a lot of respect for subgroups that bring out a really high quality project a day or two after it's actually aired in Japan. Just lots of respect for Doremi, especially the fact that they're actually doing other projects on top of that, and a lot of respect to CureCom as well. Not only just for doing the new series, but also CureCom is probably the best place you can go to find links to almost every fan sub of Precure that's out there.
Will that make them like the central hub to Precure?
That would be very close, to be honest.
Whenever I have friends ask, oh, hey, I want to get into Precure, what should I do? I'm like, here, go to this place and start downloading. You will not regret it.
Really?
Pretty much, yeah. They've done a really good job of taking what used to be just a fan subbing group that started on the
I'm
LiveJournal
trying to remember if they link
they
link other subgroups. I don't think they do.
That's what I was looking for, to be honest.
I was sure that they linked other subgroups. I'm
trying to remember if they do. I think they do. Hold on, I'm gonna go check. CureCom.
I think.
Okay, search. Keep talking. I'll tell you if I'm right or wrong.
Yeah. Fun story. The CureCom name, and this is probably just so obvious, but still, CureCom basically just came from the fact that we cure community.
Really? I was actually trying to figure out what the names were for, because Doremi I figured was from that other magical girl. I figured that out. Then there was Splash subs, which I figured was when they were doing Splash Star, and then there was CureCom, which I wasn't expecting to actually be something like that. I was expecting it to be
CureCom. CureCom literally just stands for Pretty Cure Community, and it came about from the fact that the subs were being created as a collaborative effort between the Pretty Cure community on the LiveJournal account.
Is that why they have an IRC chat?
I think they just made an IRC chat because it was easier to get everyone
CureCom
involved that
actually
way.
links all of the other fan subbers that do series.
So
yeah, because I just clicked on
what
Smile because I know that one had like 50 bajillion fan subbers. You've got like what? Doremi, you've got Chihiro, Aesir. Yeah.
Really? I only knew because Doremi and Aesir were the only ones that were posting it on the LiveJournal group. I was not aware that there were actually other subgroups.
No, Chihiro does it, and for DokiDoki, there's Komi subs are doing speed subs of them as well.
I noticed.
Also CureCom subs, their layout is really adorable, and it's just excitedly subbing Pretty Cure. I love that. That's fantastic.
So, what's the difference between I don't know. I might be hitting a taboo spot. What's the difference between CureCom and Doremi subs in terms of DokiDoki?
In terms of DokiDoki, the CureCom subs have a bit more character to them. In that, there's a bit more elaboration about what character. The lines are a bit more animated, I feel. Doremi goes for a very literal translation. I wouldn't say a dry translation, but they get across what the characters are saying very clearly, very concisely.
So CureCom is more of characterization, and Doremi is more like this is what it means, so you can understand it better.
Yeah, the CureCom are a bit more flowery, if that makes sense. And the way that they translate certain terms is a bit different as well. I mean, the best way that I could really describe it is as going back to what they call the villain group. Doremi call them selfishness, which is the literal translation of Juroku, and CureCom call it selfish, with an E.
Selfish.
So
it's like a French thing to...
No, it doesn't have a French. I'm assuming that's how they pronounce it, unless the E is silent. But that kind of shows the difference between the two of them. And yeah, they translate certain terms differently as well. For example, the Doremi translates the fairyland as Card Kingdom, and I believe CureCom translates it as Trump Kingdom.
I've noticed that that it's been called Trump Kingdom, but Doremi calls it Card Kingdom, so it was kind of confusing at first.
I don't know why they made that decision, but it's not like it's a wrong decision.
Yeah, I don't really hate it. I actually want to see. I guess if you go through the episodes a little more after a while, it'll sink in. I don't really choose my subs. I just go with. Actually, I do kind of choose my subs, but I also really don't like to rewatch anything after I watch it unless I'm really, really into it. So
right, okay.
So yeah, there's a thing about me just being picky and then being really not rewatchy.
See, I usually end up rewatching series because I make icons, so I have to.
Yeah, I
have to go back
well.
and rewatch a series for like specific scenes, and then if I like a character, I really want to study and analyze said character because that's just the type of person I am.
I actually want to rewatch Heartcatch because if you know about my fanfic, it has a lot of Heartcatch elements, and despite me being a closet Heartcatch fan, I do quite enjoy the series. So I'm not trying to rip off them, but I need to figure out where I'm going with my fanfic, and I think Heartcatch would have the best reference I can go with.
Heartcatch.
Also, a thing about making icons is that you really learn to appreciate the animation of the series, I think. I mean, the animation for Pretty Cure can vary wildly, to put it nicely. Well, it is a series that kind of they use to give animators work experience in Korea, so the quality can vary wildly, but when the quality is good, it can be really, really good, and doing icons generally helps you appreciate that a bit more.
Right. Actually, that was some good sub talk, to be honest. I hope you guys, the listeners, learned a lot from this. Do appreciate what the subgroups do, because without them, we would not be getting Pretty Cure. They're awesome.
Shout out to CureCom.
Shout out to CureCom, Doremi, Kami, Doki, Pretty Cure Splash subs. I'm trying to think off the top of my head. Who does Yes 5 right now? Who did Yes 5?
CureCom did Yes 5, I know.
And Acer, you guys are awesome. Thanks a lot. Coming up next, this segment is a little bit of a free talk. Free talk, break time, whatever you call it. We call this Free Splash. As you can probably tell, it's a Splash Star reference. And if you probably haven't noticed, every section that we have in the CureCast will be related to a Pre-Cure series.
You don't say!
I actually imagined one of the memes that popped up that goes with it. I think the Jack Nicholson meme.
That's the whole point.
But let me just explain what Free Splash is. It's a break time where we get away from the Pretty Cure talk and just be ourselves. It's like having a normal Skype conversation, but we're actually being recorded.
So you get to hear us, be even dumber than normal. Except in,
Yeah.
Well, I meant like in my position. I don't know.
You're not dumb.
So starting from now, it is 8:45. We have 20 minutes. Actually, 8:45 my time. I'm on Eastern Standard Time. So
does it need to be 20 minutes?
It has to be 20 minutes because we gotta wrap this up.
Okay.
If you guys look at your recordings, you'll see how a little over we are.
I know, but we don't really need to go 20 minutes. Can't we go like 10 minutes?
I think in this situation, since we're going over, like at least 15 minutes. How about that?
15 minutes because I gotta use the bathroom.
Okay.
That's a long time to use the bathroom.
No. Okay. No, don't listen to him. Don't listen to him. I don't.
Just go.
I'm gonna go get a snack.
Just go to the bathroom and get a snack. Go.
I'm getting a snack.
You're gonna make yourself look even worse. Go.
Okay.
I hate you.
No,
guys.
you don't. But yeah, I have so many icons to do. Do you know? Okay, I have like 90. Hold on, let me think. I have at least 300 screen caps of DokiDoki right now, because everybody's been asking me for icons. I'm like, oh my god, why did I say yes?
What do you use to get to make
I use VLC.
screen caps? Alright, I don't actually use that. I just use the print
Well,
screen
because the
usually.
thing is that it's a lot easier to have a specific function in VLC. Because
Yeah. I have noticed that it takes me absolutely goddamn forever.
if you just print screen,
to-
then you get the whole entire like window, and I really don't want the entire window. I don't want to see that I am typing something in Clerk along with typing something in an like an IM window versus actually watching the episode.
I thought that I would be making a lot of icons about DokiDoki, but I've only made like
Well,
3
like I
icons.
owe who do I owe icons to? I owe icons to Liz. Like she wants mana icons, and then people want they want everybody, and I'm like, oh, why did I agree to this? And then Strike.
I might share. Yeah, I might try and work on some of more of my icons, and then just try and share them, and hopefully they'll help out. Because I really like it when people
And
use
then in
icons that I've
Strikeouts,
made.
it's because I love making icons, and I'm a masochist.
Yeah, I'm not impressed when people use icons without crediting.
It happens,
but when
unfortunately.
it happens, you know, it's just kind of a thing with the internet, you gotta expect that kind of thing to happen. But in general, I like it when people use my icons. I
actually
call it a
noticed because,
compliment.
like, I tried dabbling at Tumblr RP. I tried, and I failed miserably because I just can't wrap my head around it. And then there was an Erica
I
on
think-
Tumblr that actually had a whole bunch of my icons, and they said, if these are your icons, just tell me and I'll put credit. I'm like, aw, that's so sweet.
Oh, I think Tumblr RP works when it's specific kinds of games, but I think that people are just kind of using it for any kind of
Yeah.
old thing. I think the ones where it really works well are like the Ask blogs.
There are some Ask
where-
blogs that just end up being a whole bunch of RP. Not that it's a problem or anything, because I like watching them, interacting with other characters. I'm just all like, if it's an Ask blog, shouldn't it be more focused on it?
Yeah. Because there's I've seen a few good.
I
really
like
good
Ask Your
blogs.
Piece.
I think that. Yeah, the best Ask blogs I've seen are usually the ones where the person doing it either cosplays as a character or has the art skill to actually draw.
There's also, what is it?
a
Ask
response.
Chibiusa. I actually know I actually know the
Oh,
player
yeah.
personally, or not personally, but I actually talked to them a lot, and I love the fact that she can draw. Sammy, I love you.
I think one of my favorite ones was probably there was an Ask Sailor Moon
What I miss?
Tumblr a long time ago. Hello. There's an Ask Sailor Moon Tumblr a while ago. I don't think the artist actually does it anymore, but she was really good at getting Usagi's character
Oh
down.
god, Usagi, I miss playing Usagi.
Yeah. I see a lot of retweets from there's an Ask Cure Piece
Yeah,
account
There is.
on Tumblr.
What?
And I see a lot.
What? Really?
Yeah, and she's
I-
actually a really
yeah.
good cure piece.
Oh god, you gotta
Yeah.
link me to that, because I follow, I don't really Tumblr, but I follow one called Ass Saber from Fate.
Oh,
So
Saber.
there's this one called Ass Saber, and it's just
Yeah, it's pretty
hilarious
much just
as-
Ask Cure Piece, and yeah.
Link me
I
to
think
this.
she reblogs. She reblogs a lot of related Pretty Cure stuff. So it's not all just RP, but the times that she actually does do RP,
It
it's
really is.
good.
All right, this is going up when I post this episode. This is going up. This is a advertisement. This is
And I mean, like,
advertisement
there's
time.
actually a big, huge Pretty Cure role-playing community on Tumblr, and
Oh god.
like I
really?
said, I tried.
If there's one for every cure,
I
plus Milky Rose and Shiny
I
Luminous.
tried
I don't-
dabbling in it. I mentioned this like earlier on, and yeah, like I said, I just couldn't wrap my head around it, and I feel really bad because I kept saying, I'm going to get into it, and then it just sort of fell to the floor.
It works really well for Ask blogs, but for other kinds of RP, I really don't see how it is. If any of our listeners have dabbled in Tumblr, in good Tumblr RP that haven't just been asked blogs, please send our in answers on a postcard, and we will read them out on the next episodes.
That's what a message in the wind is for, which unfortunately will not happen this episode. But we do have an email, thecurecast@gmail.com. That is thecurecast@gmail.com. No spaces, no dots, just thecurecast@gmail.com. Send us an email. Maybe next episode we'll read it aloud if you get lucky. Go nuts.
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate the
feedback.
What's it called? Yeah, feedback and contribution.
So yeah, I remember I've also kind of been I keep an eye on the Precure tab. I remember before DokiDoki even started, there were like Ask Cure Sword and Ask Cure Rosetta.
Really?
I mean, like I just sort of stared at it. And I'm like, I understand you want to get on board with that, but I'm like, at least wait until episode like halfway through, or like between, or like up until episode 10,
at least
so that you could get a
you...
better grasp of the character.
Yeah, I think you could. I think they just wanted to get
They just wanted to hop on
username
board before,
I think they just wanted to get the username.
Which is fine. I can completely understand that, but But
It's like being part of an MMO that just got released, and then you're the first one to make your username Naruto before anyone else.
Oh god. Yeah, I remember when there was the big switchover from LiveJournal onto Dreamwidth for that, and lots of people just went and they registered all the really common usernames. They just squatted on them.
The exodus of LiveJournal. God, that was such a pain in the ass.
Wait, what?
Really
there was an exodus?
Okay, well, here's the thing. When LiveJournal did its big, huge overhaul, there were a lot of role-playing communities on LiveJournal that were not happy with the changes because it completely ruined a lot of the ways people were role-playing. So they looked for a different place to go, and they decided to move to Dreamwidth. Like, a lot of role-players and people just moved to Dreamwidth because they didn't like the way LiveJournal's business... They didn't like the way they were handling their business.
So how does that affect the Precure LiveJournal
It really
group?
doesn't, because we're not a role-playing...
We're not a...
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not a role-playing group, that makes sense.
But a lot of people, like, that I know, have left LiveJournal because the interface is a lot harder to use now, and the people running it aren't really hospitable.
How about I don't like the fact that I can't tell what my sent messages are? I need to keep an eye on my sent messages, and it's really hard because I always have to talk to my artist, Jish. Shout out to my homegirl. Love you. I had to talk with Jish. I don't know how to say her name. I have to talk to Jish a lot because we need to talk about how we're going to design the next characters, or design characters for the fanfic, and LiveJournal makes it a lot harder because I can't keep an eye on... Well, granted, I don't have a limit to my PM box. I got like 9 pages in my PM box, but I can't keep an eye on my sent messages unless she sends something to me back. So I ask her, can you send me what I sent you, and just in case, because sometimes I just come up with ideas on the spot and I have to send it to her and I don't have them recorded, and I would need to get them back. That's one of the disadvantages of LiveJournal, is that it doesn't have a sent message box.
See, the main cause of it was the fact that LiveJournal got really, really popular in Russia, where there was a lot of political blogs using it for for voicing opinions and stuff. That's one of the reasons why LiveJournal went down quite a bit during that time, because it kept getting DDoS'd because of all these political blogs. So, but because it was so popular there, and because the guy who runs it is also Russian, they wanted to make it more more hospitable to that kind of live blogging. Sort of like how a mesh between what LiveJournal is now and Twitter. You know, kind of like live journal updates.
I remember seeing I think the first 2 months after the exodus to Dreamwidth, the graph of how much LiveJournal lost because of all of the paid accounts and all of the a la carte icons that people got for their role-playing games. There was a lot.
There were paid accounts?
There was a lot of money put into LiveJournal due to role-playing accounts.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
It was a lot.
I didn't know you would spend money. I didn't know you would spend money just to roleplay.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is that you can, with a free LiveJournal account, you get 15 icons and stuff like that. Role players tend to use hundreds of icons, and you need to buy
you have to buy a paid account,
slot,
and then you have to buy extra icons if your character is super emotive. Erica.
Exactly, yeah. So that's how LiveJournal was getting a lot of their money, because a lot of people would buy paid accounts so they would get more icons, then buying more icon space on top of that. Plus, getting a paid account gave you other benefits like being able to edit the stuff you made and all kinds of other little features. But essentially, yeah.
I gotta change my arsenal of icons, because I mostly have during Smiles Run, which is when I joined the LiveJournal. I have a lot of the Abubu face.
Abubu.
I have a lot of those. I just kept a collection of them. I gotta clean them out because I don't use half of them anymore. Also, my favorite prostrating Fari. My signature one.
Oh, Fari.
Have you seen that one? Have you seen that icon that I use? That my default
yes.
icon? It's just basically, I love it. That was probably why I love Fari the most. So hilarious.
Oh, Fari.
We actually gotta cut this short because we're kind of done.
That's okay. You'll probably hear more about role playing the next time I'm on.
Yeah.
We'll just definitely see when's the next time you'll be on. I gotta figure that out.
April is when I'm gonna be on next.
Don't tell them.
Well,
don't tell them
my
yet.
bad.
I'm not editing it anyway. All right. So transition time. Tonight, this is the first actual live recording of what we call Sweets Time. You can probably tell what this is going to be about. If you don't, I'm going to explain it anyway. Sweets Time is a reference to Sweet Pretty Cure, which is mainly a musical series. Sweets Time is basically your radio show. We'll be listening to a couple of songs from the Pretty Cure series along the years, from soundtracks to vocal albums, movie singles, whatever. It's Pretty Cure. As long as it's a song from Pretty Cure, even Kudo Mayu's medley is enough, then yeah, we will be broadcasting that. Shout out to our main fairy, who unfortunately could not be with us tonight, Wing0x10A in the LiveJournal group, also known as our CureCast fairy, Hane, which literally means wing. He supplies all the songs for Sweets Time. So whatever we play on each episode, it's on him.
We bow down to you.
You are the most awesome fairy.
Yes.
You are the greatest fairy of them all, Hane.
We're not worthy.
We love you.
We're not worthy.
All right, so what we have first, we will be playing from the Sweet Precure OST, original soundtrack. So how this will work, I want you guys to mute your mic for this, so that mute your Skype mic, so then I can switch over, and then switch over. Oh, fresh Precure reference. But But so I can switch over to my stereo mix, and then we'll play it from here. But we're gonna do another. But even though this is how we're gonna do it. You'll hear us do a sync test, mostly for editing purposes. So then I can play the music from there, and then I can edit everything. All right. So from here, we're gonna say beep, not sync, beep. Ready, guys? You can say it too. Wave your miracle lights when we do it.
No! Stupid miracle lights
right.
just go away!
Alright, get ready, guys.
Laura's rant section.
Alright, you ready, guys? We're gonna do on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3, beep. And that was the Minuet of Cannon Town.
I feel like I've heard this song before.
We actually use this for those of us for you guys just actually listening to this. We used this song on the test episode before things got pretty bad with the recording. But hey, it actually got to see the light of day. I also have a really special connection with the song because I'm a music major in college. It made me really get into composition, and I wanted to not recompose, but more like transpose this so I can play it on piano.
Ooh. I
couldn't find music sheets for it, and I was just a starting music student at the time when Sweet was airing. I think that was around 2011, and I started fall 2011, so I really enjoy Sweet Precure because I'm a music student, and it's given me a lot of chances to dabble with composition.
For the record, I was drinking tea.
I finished my tea while we were talking.
Well, see, I have this big, huge pot of tea that I had specifically for this.
I didn't have enough time to start boiling another pot of water. But what do you guys think about the song? I don't know if you guys are like music savvy or anything.
Oh,
I'm not very.
Well, okay, I'm not exactly music savvy, like all of the technical terms, but I was a violinist for like 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, about 7 years. So I can really appreciate. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Like all throughout junior high and high school, I was in orchestra and I played first violin.
Can you still play?
Probably.
Could you give
Probably with a little practice, I could play something decently.
Could you give us like a live demonstration one week?
Oh God. Oh God.
That's funny. Well, the thing is that I don't have my.
I believe
I don't
in
have
you.
my violin anymore. I let my cousin have it because she was also in orchestra and she's younger than me by like 4 years.
Just like how my sister moved out and gave me her guitar.
But
I play guitar like Ellen.
But yeah, I mean, like I can appreciate the the theme of Sweet because it was all about music and people really taking their instruments and just the whole concept of it to heart. And
yeah, there was a very honestly, I don't think there'll ever be a town where music thrives over everything else But it was really interesting to see how music became a central part in everyone's daily life. Even though Kanade wasn't really a music person, she ended up becoming a baker. It played a very central role, not because it's the theme of the entire series, but it was the theme of their daily lives.
What I want is to have a park in my town that has this big, huge piano that you can walk over. Because I mean, like I know
that one was.
I mean,
awesome.
like I know you can go to New York City, and I think it's I'm trying to remember which store it was that has the big, huge piano inside of the store. But
tell me, because I live right across New York City.
I'm trying to remember. It's one of the really big toy stores in New York City.
I think it's
FEO Schwartz that has the big, huge keyboard that people.
I don't think that's there. I don't think it's there anymore. I mean, it's been FAO Schwartz is still there, but I don't think they have the giant keyboard. I went there a few years ago.
Well, no, because like when did I go there? I went there like 3 or 4 years ago, and they still had the piano.
I have to look it up then. I have to go check it out.
But I mean, like the one in Sweet was just like huge in comparison to the one at FAO Schwartz.
There was actually a video circulating where I don't know which country this was, but in a subway, people would often take the escalator instead of actually taking the stairs, mostly because people are lazy. you guys know who you are. You guys know who you are. Anyway, I think at some point these people decide to make stairs fun, so they literally turned the staircase into a keyboard.
Dude.
And a lot more people were using the stairs than the escalators.
That's amazing.
You guys should watch the video. It's very nice. You have a deeper appreciation for music when you actually do play around with it. It's very nice. That's why with Sweet, despite everyone not liking Sweet a lot, I don't understand why. Maybe I can see it a little, but Sweet still holds a special place in my heart. Especially with this song.
I really like Sweet for a lot of reasons. I really enjoyed it, and I don't think it deserves the hate that it's getting. Dislike that it gets.
Yeah, because I mean, like, you've heard me air out my grievances, Red. But I mean, like,
oh yeah, I know what your grievances are.
I don't exactly have the most positive outlook for Sweet, but it is good in its own right. It's just, it's just. I think a lot of it is just the first few episodes with Kanade and Hibiki fighting, and I mean, like, I understand that not everyone is going to get along. That things happen. It just bothers me the reason. That's the only thing that gets me, is the reason.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, I understand that they're 14 years old, but...
Yeah. So basically, when you watch it, you skip the first few episodes, except for the scenes that have Siren in them, because Siren is amazing.
And Hami!
Hami is amazing too.
I love Hami. But...
I love Hami, but she gets annoying after a while.
No,
but I love Hami.
But yeah, it's just pretty much what gets me is the reason why they fell apart for however long, and how it just it wasn't an issue they felt that they had to talk about until, oh hey, there's a whole bunch of stuff going on, we need to work together. And it's just like, they're just like, oh, we're like really best friends, and then when they have one small miscommunication, it's like, no, we're not really best friends.
Aww. Yeah, I can get
that. That's really the only thing that bothers me about the series. Otherwise, it is a good series.
It is. Yeah.
It has a lot of Disney. I think most of the reputation comes from the fact that it followed Heartcatch, which was a very, very good series, and I think people compared it a lot to Heartcatch, and it's not as good. It's not as good as Heartcatch was, but Heartcatch was the masterpiece.
I wish that they wouldn't compare seasons, because every single season is really good in its own right.
Hey, I compared Max Heart with Futari and Splash Star. It is the weakest of the three.
Well,
I am dead serious, but I will leave that topic for another time.
Okay, but I mean, each season has their own good points.
I totally agree with you, 100%.
All right, then coming up next, we actually have background music. Oh wait, that was the first. This is our second background music, but It's special background music. You know why? Because this is from All Stars DX3.
Oh.
That's right. We have the transformation sequence. So what? Should we do another sync test to make sure that this? No, it'll be fine.
Okay.
All right. So I'm gonna leave a marker here. You guys don't have to say anything, but when you hear me, you guys can.
I've got this
mic.
big, huge
Unless you guys
smile on my face because oh yay!
You know what's coming because you know what's coming up next. You know what's coming up next. So hold it for now.
Okay.
All right. We got to give this a bit. We got to give this a bit.
Okay.
All right. So I'm going to make another test. This is for my editing purposes. Don't worry about this. I'll probably fix it later. All right. So
Okay.
3, 2, 1, beep. So yeah,
Yep.
that's actually pretty intense.
That's pretty long.
It was really long. Minuet of Cannon Town was 1 minute and 34 seconds. Pre-care transformations from All Stars DX3 was 3 minutes and 36 seconds. Just about twice as long.
There was 23 of them though.
No, 20. 21.
22? 21? Alright.
I was close.
Because you got 3 from Max Heart, plus 2
So
from
that's
Splash
5,
Star,
and then you've got 6.
plus-
And then you've got
That's 11.
Then you got
And then
4.
you got Fresh. That's 15.
Then 4.
Then you got 4. Then you got 4 from Heart Catch. and then 2. That's
Okay.
21.
Cool.
You only say 23. 23 would be
23 would be with Muse and
new
B.
stage. Yeah, 20. But that's
new
makes
stage,
sense.
but we're not gonna delve into new stage right now.
We're not gonna delve into
New
new
stage.
stage, not until later. But like I said, music major. I've been to a lot of my classmates' concerts, and it really nothing gets me more than horns. Seriously, nothing gets me more than brass section just doing this huge build-up thing. It's like duh, 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 duh. I'm like, ah! I love it. I absolutely love it. Like,
I'm over here just imagining the transformation sequences in my head, and the moment Moonlights comes in, I'm like,
so what is it? I haven't watched DX3 in a while. So is that really their transformation sequence in order?
I believe
yeah, they
so,
do it in order.
Oh, wait, is that after Sweet Precure does theirs, or does Sweet Precure join them?
I think Sweet Precure joins
Yeah, they
them.
do that because this is the second time that they transform in this.
Second time?
Yeah, because
They transform twice?
or was is hold on, I'm trying to remember. I think they do.
Cause
Is it-
I
is
know,
it- is it-
cause all
is
I
it
know is all I know is that they first meet up with the Heartcatch cast. Then when the bad guys appear, all the other Precures
Oh no, I'm
appear.
mixing it up with
They
DX2 because they transform twice in that.
Oh.
But I mean,
Yeah,
like
DX3 is the one where they transform and pretty much stay in their cure forms for the entire.
that's the
thing.
only thing that gets me about DX3 is that they have hardly any time in their civilian forms. I'm just like, no, I want to see more civilian stuff.
But their cure forms are so awesome, and it makes everything even more funny when they're like playing baseball in their pretty cure forms.
And then Moonlight in her
And
studying battle. Oh my god, I
Yeah.
died
Oh my
so
God.
hard.
I love the fact that in the baseball one, Itsuki is wearing a guy. I believe she's wearing a guy's uniform, but she's got her sunlight pigtails coming down from her
I
head.
swear, I need to see screenshots of this because this is hilarious. This
Okay,
already sounds
see,
hilarious.
this is the thing that gets me about DX3 is the fact that I ended up shipping Mint and Rhythm because of every single time Rhythm faltered, Mint was always there to catch her.
The catcher,
I'm just
yeah.
like, what is this? Why are you making me ship them randomly? No, stop
just
So
like-
it.
wait. So
Where
I don't
did this
understand.
shit
Was
come
it-
from?
I don't understand. I don't understand though. Is it like that section of the movie? Was that supposed to be dedicated to the partners or dedicated to the blue cures?
The blues.
The blues.
They were split. Yeah, they were split into 3 groups. One was the leaders / pinks. One was the blues, and the last one was the yellows / extra cures.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but most of the blues were partners.
Yeah, but that's because blue is a really common color for the partner
It
character.
really is.
Yeah, but that makes Cure Aqua and Cure Mint out of place.
No,
I really-
because they were split based on colors, not on their roles.
Oh, I really expected them to be more split into partners.
There was
'Cause
like I say,
They
they were
talked about it. They
were
talked it like that.
yeah, they were split into reds, blues, and yellows / extras.
Mm-hmm. Except for Moonlight, who just ended up taking control of the yellow. She's like, no, we gotta do this now.
Yes.
I actually
Moonlight was
liked
amazing
the
in that. Moonlight was
I
amazing in that
know.
one.
Well, my fangirl was just all over this movie. I probably just like.
And Rin was amazing in that one.
I
as
know. She's
well.
like, what are you guys doing? This isn't a time to play.
DX3 was like one of the best All Stars movies.
It really
actually.
was. It's still
Like,
my favorite.
I liked
DX
it a
movie.
lot. I liked it a lot more than DX2. I liked it a little more than DX. DX, at least they had more interaction with each
Yeah.
other. But DX3 was just like, we're gonna have a lot of fun with
It's
this.
true.
Yeah.
And then the pink team, they're just all like, you go here, you go here, you go here. Which way's here? Which way's there? Did you mean this
Which
way?
Are you mean my left or yours?
Oh my god. You guys make me want to rewatch it, but I have other Precure movies to watch.
You have to rewatch it.
No! Give me a bit! Give me a bit. I'll rewatch it on my own time when I'm free and not swamped with school stuff. But DX3 really
it was really good. Just seeing how everyone would interact with others of different groups.
Yeah, but the story was by far amazing. It wasn't really linear at all. It was like, it was emotional. It was really hard.
Until you got to the fairies part.
Oh yeah.
Then
the fairies.
I actually kind of shed a few tears.
See,
I shed a few tears.
I think I mentioned this the last time, but people don't know this about how everyone's like, no, we're gonna be separated from the fairies, and then you've got Yuri over there to the side.
Yeah, I have to see that
I need to link the comic, but it's just all like, Yuri's just like, yeah, I guess everyone will have to be split up with their fairies. And all the Heartcatch girls are like, oh. And everyone else is like, what's wrong with her?
Yuri just gets out a tiny little violin and
Oh god.
I'm just like,
that's so bad.
But it's true though, because that was actually the first thing I thought of whenever I saw that part. I'm like, wait, what about Yuri? She's already lost her own fairy partner. What is this? And then, then someone actually drew it. And I'm like, thoughts come to life.
Technically,
yeah, I know it was a spoiler, and I should have...
No, spoilers for Futari. Technically, they also lost their fairies.
Yeah, but by that time, the second series had pretty much been confirmed, so it was a kind of, we've lost our fairies, but wink, wink, we know we're going to get them back.
But they've already experienced the loss, though. They already know what it's like to lose something precious to them, despite
I guess so. I guess so, but I bet that plot twist wouldn't have happened if the second series hadn't been confirmed.
Imagine if Smile was part of that. Oh man, it would just... Oh wait.
The last 2 episodes of Smile were just them crying a lot. That's all they did for the last 2 episodes of Smile were cry.
There's actually a fan art. You know how don't worry about it, Leo. You'll be okay. You know how what's his name again? Piero was
Piero-sama.
Yeah, Piero was like a giant face in space that looked like a black hole.
Yeah.
There was someone drew a comic of 3 panels of him glaring at the earth, ready to destroy it, and all you can see is like Kanji crying, Kana of all the girls crying, like in the speech bubble, and it goes on for 3 panels, and then on the 4th panel, now Piero is sad. Piero starts crying. That sums up all of the ending of Smile.
Yeah.
They're going to lose a fairy, but they cried for an entire episode about it.
Yeah. The last episode of Smile is literally them just crying a lot.
Pretty much. And I think we got to finish this up because I know someone's a little excited for our last song. Do you want me to tell them?
No.
Do you want me to tell them? Alright, then we'll do one. Then I'm just going to place the marker, and then you guys get ready, because then you're going to go nuts.
Okay.
Alright, so you better mute your mic so then you don't, squeal while we're, Actually, try not to squeal while we're recording. Just saying.
Okay, I guess so.
What are you, Eeyore now?
Whatever.
Alright. You're like bipolar now. Okay, ready? 3, 2, 1. Beep.
Try
I can imagine you. I can imagine you squealing the entire time.
I'm just imagining the fight, and I'm like, my feelings, all of my feelings.
The feels.
For those of you who don't know what that song was, that is Heart to Heart, the image song that plays in Futari Pretty Cure when Black and White are fighting against Kiria, and my ship
all the feels in that episode.
Are you in your happy place?
My ship feels.
She's saying ship, by the way,
My
with
ship
a P.
feels.
No, it was actually that was one of my favorite episodes of Futari because it really set a place for Honoka. You really see how emotionally challenged, I think would be the word, after all that with Kiria happened. It was a really hard time for her, and it really showed in the later episodes. Didn't help with this song, just awesome song with also adding to the emotion to it.
I know, right? Just this whole arc with Kiria on Honoka. I'm just like I'm like these feels. I didn't need them anyway.
I actually, to be honest, I don't really like Nakanashi Tomoko, the singer of the song. I don't know why. I have most of the vocal collection of the Pretty Cure series, and whenever she sings or whenever her songs come on, I don't feel good about them. I think it's because of the way it's probably how she sounds like, but it's not. It doesn't really sit well with me. I like the song though. I kind of avoided it because I wasn't really fond of the art of the singer, but listening to it now, I really like the Spanish acoustic guitar.
I know, the guitar, and then the clapping, and then the
Yeah, it was like I can't. It was like.
It's just gonna be a whole bunch of fangirl gibberish from me because the song and all of the
It was just really good.
Okay, so I'm a very avid shipper of Honoka and Kiria, and one of my friends actually.
You're not the only one.
Actually, was in Japan for work, and he decided that he was going to buy me a whole bunch of Pretty Cure doujinshi, which I'm pretty sure you can figure out were mostly not safe for work. A lot of them were, like the really trashy kind of not safe for work, but there were two. One of them was actually safe for work, and then the other one was not safe for work, but it was really well done. The one that was safe for work is from, is one of my actual favorite circles for Pretty Cure, like at the time, and I'm trying to remember what the name was. It had something to do with Tamers, but it pretty much had so much Kiria and Honoka stuff. I was actually surprised that this jewel in a sea of cow patties. It was just there. You have no idea how I felt. It was like the angels were singing upon me. They're just
I could probably find it. I could probably find it if you allow me to do it. I could probably find it. But just not now. Not while
I have a box sitting on my shelf, but it's too far away for me to actually look. But it had to do with, what is it? It was Valentine's Day, and Nagisa was, she made chocolates with Honoka, and she's like, I'm gonna give them to Fuji-P, blah 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 blah. I'm so in love with him, and Honoka has this this package of chocolate, but she doesn't give it to anybody, and she wants to give it to Kiria, but he's not there.
Aww.
I'm just like, I don't need those feels.
The feels.
Right in the heart. Ow.
Right in the feels. There's actually a doujinshi I was reading. It's safe for work, but it was when Honoka realizes her feelings for Nagisa, and I found it really cute because she was really shy about it, and she was actually self-conscious because she didn't know how Nagisa, who is deeply in love with Fuji,
didn't this come out just recently?
Yeah,
because I saw that one. Right? I was like, oh, that's cute.
There's a handful of Pretty Cure doujinshi I read. That one was one of my favorites, especially since there was an extended version of it where Nagisa started realizing her feelings for Honoka near the end. Very nice, the feels. It was really cute, though. I also want to get into another one, but it's not safe for work. I probably shouldn't mention it in the podcast. But it's not trashy though.
Mm-hmm.
Let me just say, it's not trashy, not safe for work. It's romantic, not safe for work.
But it's just, out of all of the not safe for work stuff, like 99% of the stuff that my friend got me was not safe for work. But then there was the small gem, and I'm going to treasure this doujinshi forever because, oh my god, I can't believe I have a doujinshi from this circle.
Aww.
Alright, then that was Sweets time. Basically, I hope you guys enjoyed listening to that.
I'm still in my fangirl glow mode right now.
You need to get into professional mode. Professional face.
Okay, look, you can't ask me to poker face. I'm very bad at that.
Coming up next is actually our last panel of the day. It's actually it's very obvious if I were to say the name. It's called Ultra Happy Panel. Now, you guys may need to wonder what it's a reference to. No need to worry. It's Smile Pretty Cute.
Ultra happy!
Ultra happy! I'm not.
It's okay, I'm a girl, I can do it.
I'm a guy with a deep voice. Or sometimes a high-pitched voice, but I can't.
Hence why I said, don't worry, I'll do it for you.
Basically, in contrast to other panels that we've had in this CureCast episode, Ultra Happy Panel is basically more of a general discussion of general topics involving Pretty Cure. It's not like how we talk about stuff in Sweets Time, or how we talked about stuff in Freshly Picked Talk. It's legit just general talk about topics regarding Pretty Cure. Here's an example, which actually will be our first topic of Ultra Happy Panel. It is about All Stars. As you may know, All Stars is I like to call it non-canon series of, maybe it's even set in its own universe type of thing, where the Pretty Cures don't age and the age don't matter. But it's basically all the Cures meet up with each other. Now, it's anime. You kind of figure it's anime. You can't really age. There's not really a limit. Plus, the audience is for kids. You know, you really don't expect them to understand the concept compared to like Super Sentai, where you can actually see the age. Like, have you seen? Okay, here's a comparison. All Stars, there's no concept of age. You can have fan art of the concept of age, but there's not really a concept of age in All Stars. Mostly because it's an anime series. We understand that. But compare it to, say, Super Sentai, where they actually did bring back some old members in some point in time. For example, in the 2011 series, I think it was 2011, Kaizoku Sentai Gokaiger, they literally brought back members from 80 shows. And you can definitely see the age. Like Jetman, you've seen the age. I think, was it Bioman maybe? You've seen the age. Even in Kamen Rider Decade, where they brought back some of the more recent Kamen Riders, you've seen age. You know? I think it was during the movie. Yeah, it was during the movie. They brought back one of the original cast members of Kamen Rider Agito, and you've seen how, if you've watched the series, he looks really young and really hot. But,
wow. Okay.
I think you just. There we go.
Well.
Keep going. We're rolling. But when you see the movie and who makes his first canon appearance, because he's a legit cast member of Kamen Rider, he's definitely aged a lot. You can definitely see the adult look on his face, and it's probably a span of 8 years. And 8 years since Decade and Agito aired. Because if
you want to put it into perspective for those who haven't seen Kamen Rider, think of it like like Mighty Morphin or like Power Rangers when they had all of the Reds from each respective season come in to one episode for like I think what the 10-year episode or something. So you've got Jason, you've got shoot, I forgot. Pretty much, you know, all of the Reds.
Okay, you want me to name this for you? I think I can remember this. It's Jason, Tommy,
That didn't get very long.
I know.
TJ?
TJ was Turbo. Andros was...
TJ,
Yeah,
right?
but there were
So
like at least...
Andros.
There were like...
Leo.
And there was one more.
And...
But I mean, like, you know what I'm... But, you know, just...
Carter.
There was one more.
Carter, Eric, and I forget the time range.
But you know what I mean, like
Wes.
to put it in
Wes.
yeah, but to put it into perspective for those who haven't seen Kamen Rider, it's kind of like that. Like you can see that they've all aged and that they've all moved on from their Power Ranger days.
Yeah.
And compare it to what Precure, who for some reason
None of them
they
have
haven't
aged
graduated.
a bit.
None of them has graduated middle school. They are still in
Even
middle school.
Even
each
though,
and every one of them.
spoiler, Honoka and Nagisa graduate from Verona.
They're still wearing the uniforms.
Oh,
That's the thing.
God, don't...
If you've seen it in DX1, Rika and the other girl, I forget her name. They're still wearing the
No, they're not.
uniforms.
They're wearing normal clothes. Yeah.
Really? Shoot. I must have
No.
missed that.
See, if we want to talk about the uniforms, it's All-Star DX New Stage, where they're all wearing their respective uniforms from middle school / high school for Yuri. And it's just like, it's been years since you guys have really been a part of the Pretty Cure, you know, lineup. Why are you all still in middle school?
That makes me wonder if All Stars is actually set within its own universe.
But you would if it were in its own universe, you would still think that they would age.
Really? I don't think that it's one of these... I don't mean to be harsh or anything, but I think this is one of these arguments that I don't think is really worth having. If that makes sense.
Why?
Because it's the DX movies are just for fun.
It's
really
pretty much,
wasn't
you know,
actually.
crossover candy. And I understand that. It's just remember from the point of view that I'm coming from, the whole role playing kind of view. You know, how are we supposed to incorporate that into their canon? You can't really. It's
from a role playing point of view, I can totally understand that. It's just this is one of these arguments that, yes, argue about it, but don't care too much about it.
It's also kind of like how can you fit the DBZ movies into the actual canon when there are a lot of inconsistencies. I mean, like it's good. The movies are good. But, you know, if some people want to try and fit it into the canon, it's really difficult, and then, you know...
Well, this is actually, like, another part of the Ultra Happy panel that I was going to say for later, but since you brought it up, I said All Stars was considered within its own universe, but it's also a Pretty Cure movie. Now, that includes Pretty Cure movies within their respective seasons, but that should it be considered canon at some point as a series, as part of their series, or in general?
Depends on the movie, really.
It really does.
Well, like what Heart Catch was considered canon. I don't know about Sweet. Would Sweet be considered canon?
I'm trying to remember what actually happens. I think it's set. I think you could fit it in, but it would be a bit of a
stretch.
Yeah.
You can fit DX2 and DX3 into the actual timeline for Pretty Cure. It's a lot easier to do that because they aren't, what's the term? There aren't specific things that link to when it could possibly be during the series.
Yeah.
Unlike All-Star New Stage, where they're all wearing their, you know, uniforms, and then you just sort of go, what?
Well, with New Stage, I personally work off the canon that New Stage is a completely new canon, but where all of them are
by the way, is Ayumi gonna be in New Stage too?
That's what I was thinking of, to be honest. Would they bring back Ayumi? Do you think they'll bring back Ayumi?
I hope they bring back Ayumi.
I would think so, since she's, you know, big huge focus in New Stage 1, but you know, anything could happen.
Yeah, but I don't think new stage even means anything. The same thing with DX. New stage is basically a DX4. That's the thing. But new stage just sets a new type of story that they did for
The
it.
thing is, they tacked on the new stage thing for a couple of reasons. Number one, I think, was the fact that the new stage is a bit of a canon reboot. As I say, I think new stage takes place in its own alternate universe, and the DX movies were becoming... Basically, they were running out of bad guys to throw at the girls, really. And also the second thing was the fact that they couldn't get all... The Pretty Cure cast had become so bloated that they couldn't get all the voice actresses back. So...
Wait, they couldn't get back, or they just refused to get them back? That's something that's been bothering me. Was it that they refused to get them back? Because sometimes they don't... It kind of helps with the pay process.
I don't know this for certain, so just take it as my personal opinion, but I think the fact is that it just wouldn't have been feasible. I think you've got to remember...
It'd be too convoluted.
Oh, no, more of a case of you've only got a certain budget for these movies, and that you've only got a certain budget for hiring voice actors, and eventually your cast is going to get so big that you can't afford to bring every single voice actress back, especially when some of them are only going to get 1 or 2 lines. So I think for for the DX movies, you can look at if I'm describing the movie to someone, I can say the DX movies, those are the ones where they get back every single person and all the characters have a role in it, and it's really good. And then for new stage, they've got all the characters, but only some of the voice actresses are back for it, and only certain and some of them have more of a focus than others.
Like Erica.
But how did you feel, when with the existence of All Stars, especially with the little mini movie for... Apparently there is a mini movie for Yes Go Go 5 where they did meet each other. And then they met each other
what do you mean? How did I feel by...
How did you feel about the concept of crossovers?
I like them, to be honest.
I love crossovers too.
Yeah, I think the crossovers were just done really, really well. I think I point to DX3 in particular because DX3 was just all about how the different cures interact with each other, and that's what you really want out of a crossover movie more than anything else. I mean, you don't just want characters teaming up to kick ass. You want to actually see, oh, how is Nagisa going to get along with Nozomi from Yes Pretty Cure 5, etc. You want to see that kind of crossover thing, especially if you're into roleplay as well, where roleplay is essentially one gigantic big crossover, not just between canons, but between universes.
Role-playing.
Role-playing.
The reason why I asked is because I grew up a lot. Before I started Pretty Cure, I started a lot with Tokusatsu, and when Kamen Rider Decade came out,
Decade.
I actually couldn't handle it very well because they started bringing. It started off with mostly the Heisei series, but it was just like episode arcs where like you have the writers from one series as part of Decade for one episode arc, and then you have another set of writers for another episode arc. But when they did the movie, I don't know how well that was done because...
Oh, the Decade movies.
Yeah, those were not done very well, which is one of the reasons why I did not know how Pretty Cure... Especially because Pretty Cure and Kamen Rider and Super Sentai are handled by the same...
By Toei.
Yeah.
Okay, for a short... So that we don't go too much into Tokusatsu talk... the problems with Decade can be summed up by 4 words. Decade had production issues, and that basically affected the movie. The head writer was pretty much resigned after the first arc, and then it got taken over by executives, I believe. Or rather, I believe the executives stepped in and had conflicting views about how they wanted to push the series, which is why it turns into a bit of a mess, and why you have a movie that when you have a movie that gets aired halfway through the television series that basically answers every single plot thread from the television series, thus leaving absolutely nothing left for the TV series itself to chew on for the latter half. It was that kind of too many cooks situation.
So do you think All Stars handled, even if it was just for a movie, which expanded into like how many series, movies? Like
I think it handled it a lot better. For one reason, the movie was non-canon, so they didn't have to worry about it fitting into the existing canon, which can cause all kinds of problems. It really can. Yeah, that was the problem with Decade, was the fact that it had to fit into the television canon, so that just caused problems. Meanwhile, the DX movies were non-canon, so they got licensed to do whatever they wanted with them without having to worry about the consequences. And I think the DX movies also came from a more singular vision as well. I think they knew what they wanted to do with the DX movies, and so it came across really, really well.
So, do you think that Pretty Cure, well, it's an anime series, that's the thing, but do you think Pretty Cure can start its own thing with crossovers if it needs to?
You mean
Kamen
Pretty Cure Decade, you mean?
Not like Decade, really, but actually make it into a series canon, or that's just fan fiction and roleplay talking.
Yes, I think
if done properly.
Yes, I think it could be made into its own canon if they wanted to, and I think that's what they're actually trying with New Stage. I think from what I could understand, New Stage works on the canon that the Pretty Cures didn't have their own individual series, but rather they were a
big, huge group.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, yeah, there's the implication that each team had their own adventures, but they weren't the specific adventures that happened in the TV series. More like they're just separate teams, if that makes sense. Like, almost like regional teams, if it makes it clear, they were regional teams. And I think that canon works really, really well, because that just means you can introduce a new team at any time, and it's, oh, we're the team from Osaka, or we're the team from Clovertown, or we're the team from what was
Kibogahana.
Yeah, from Kibogahana or something like that. You know, you can just say that, and so you don't have to worry about, oh, why do they all look the same age? How does this fit into canon? It fits into canon because they're just working in different areas from each other, and then
yeah, but you gotta. If that's the case, you gotta think, with every world crisis that's ever happened, they kind of like happen within the same vicinity of each other.
That is true, which is also why it's also why, to be honest, I keep DX and I keep.
That's one of the reasons why I want to keep, I think, DX or All Stars in general as their own series. If you take All Stars into account and make it into a canon series, then how will they explain every world crisis? Like, first turning the world into a desert.
Oh,
then,
God, that desert.
Yeah.
And then blowing a chunk out of the earth.
Yeah.
And then blowing apart the earth. How does that work?
Yeah.
You know?
I think I mentioned on Plurk to you, Leo, that Pretty Cure is far more grim than Kamen Rider is sometimes, just because of the sheer number of times the world is destroyed in Pretty Cure.
It's true.
Compared to Kamen Rider.
It's true. As dark as Kamen Rider and Super Sentai could be, they'll never get as far as literally
destroying the world, messing up
the place.
It's
true. But going back to where I was, I mean, that's why I think the All-Star works better as a separate canon, because, for example, in the New Stage canon, yes, Heartcatch Pretty Cure were a team in that, but the world didn't turn into a desert. They just had their own adventures in Kibo Ohana.
So it kind of makes. Do you think it makes it a little bit more realistic in some form?
Well, it definitely solves the mystery of what are all the other Cures doing? Why are they all the same age? Blah, 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 blah.
It's true.
And the best part about that is that if you get those questions, those niggly little questions swept to the side, you can focus on what the movies are really about, which is Cures teaming up, kicking ass, having fun, and interacting with each other, which is really what the movie should be about.
And Erica photobombing everything. I mean...
And Erica bombing everything.
Erica photobombing everything.
Because Erica...
That's why she is the greatest Precure of all time.
Erica's reaction to her, we all know this.
And you know what's the best part of New Stage is that she does the Mugen face.
Oh yeah, she comes in. Erica just steals the scene, every single scene she's in.
That's why I love her voice actor so much. She just I think if Erica was not done by that voice actor, it would not have done.
And what is it? There was a post on Tumblr that had been reblogged, and it was a picture of Miyuki's voice actress handing the baton to Mana's voice actress, and
Yes.
Erica's voice actress is in the background photobombing.
I know.
Oh, really?
Yes, she is. She's just there for no reason.
Isn't their baton like literally a
It
banana?
is. It's a banana.
I never understand the concept of that. Why would they?
I think
It doesn't matter. Erica's voice actress is photobombing the picture, and that's all that really matters.
You gotta send me that
think,
picture.
I think the banana is just a joke.
Because they always do. They've done that. Like I think they did that from Sweet to Smile.
Yeah.
And then I think they did that with Smile to.
I think Sweet. I think with Sweet, they
it.
just picked up a banana and said, "Here is the baton. I'm passing it to you."
Oh god, that's cute. It goes to show how much the voice actresses for Pretty Cure really respect each other. It's like their own little community.
It really is.
There's a lot, and there's a lot of really prominent, really famous voice actresses have been involved in.
Nana Mizuki.
Yeah,
Aya
Nana Mizuki was the most famous,
Hisakawa.
probably.
Aya Hisakawa.
And Aya Hisakawa as well.
And then Itsuki's voice actress, I've forgotten what her name was.
Oh yes, she's done quite a few good roles in it. I've noticed in recent times, usually the Pretty Cure group is at least made up of half of them are well-known voice actors, and the other half tend to be up-and-coming voice actors.
Or actually, some of them are actually like Pretty Cure veterans, like Ami Koshimizu. I think her name is Ami Koshimizu. The voice actress for Hibiki was actually one of the two cosplaying girls from Futari wa Pretty Cure.
And then you've got Reika's voice actress, who was actually the Dark Dream from Pretty Cure 5.
And in fact, Kaneko Miyamoto, who voices Cure Sword,
is the ending singer for Yes 5 and Yes 5 Go Go.
Yes, and also, and even better than that, she even has a role as herself in Yes Pretty Cure 5.
Yeah, I remember that. And even Kudomayu got that. Kudomayu got that. And then she got it twice.
She did.
That's why Kudomayu is the best. I love Kudomayu. She's the best.
Kudomayu played all of the Fairytones in Sweet Cure.
She does a lot for the Pretty Cure community. I really.
Oh, and then
she
you've
has
got the
her
Crescendo Troll, who's also
Trolling Chest.
and then Heart's little fairy. I've completely forgotten the name of it. Yeah,
That's her? Sharu?
Yeah.
Cheryl.
No way! Really? I would never have guessed.
She's Trolling Chest.
Oh my god. How about I went nuts when I found out Kotobuki Minaku was going to be in Pretty Cure? I don't know if you guys watch a lot of anime, but I've known her.
Who did she play as?
And she was Kotobuki Mugi from.
Minaku Kotobuki.
Yeah, she has the same last name as the character.
Yeah, she
in K-On!
Yes.
And I expected her to use her K-On! Voice, but no, she used her Tiger and Bunny voice.
All right, honestly, she's a pretty new voice actress. I think she was born in 1991, so she's really young, and I think K-On!
Really?
Yeah.
Wait, 1991?
Yeah, she was born in 1991.
No way, she's born in my year. That's crazy.
And yes, her breakout role was K-On! Really, and that was only a few years ago. So she's really on the up and up.
Oh wow.
She is one of the up and comings in DokiDoki.
I thought she was one of the. I thought she's been a vet. She's one of the. Wow.
She's closer to the veteran side than a newbie. Put it that way. She's got a pretty extensive list of.
She's got a very good repertoire. Is what I'm trying to say.
But all things considered, her career is still on the rise. Put it that way.
Oh snap! That's That's some delicious eye candy. Especially Orikasa Fumiko. I love Orikasa Fumiko. Absolutely love her. I actually listen to her music a lot. She helps me write when it either fan fiction or schoolwork. She's always there when I need her on my iTunes.
Of course, for DokiDoki, if you want to see the veteran voice actors, then you look at the villains this time.
Oh yeah,
Really?
Ira is voiced by the same person who does Luffy.
That's what I was trying to figure out.
Luffy.
Because I was listening to a advertisement for the new One Piece Pirates Musou game.
Yeah.
And Luffy sounded extremely familiar. Now, mind you, I never watched One Piece in Japanese, so I never knew what Luffy sounded like. So when I listened to the advertisement, I was wondering why he sounded so familiar. And it's been bothering me the entire time that I keep asking myself, okay, so Rin is voiced by Naruto. Who in Precure voices Luffy? And I didn't know that was him.
Her.
That's crazy.
Her, whatever.
Mayumi Tanaka.
That's crazy.
And Mamo is voiced by Etsuko Tanaka, who's most famous for voicing Motoko Kusanagi from Ghost in the Shell.
Oh.
Oh.
Yep.
I never really, like I said, I never watched that in Japanese.
Yeah, she's also done.
Wait. Is that like the original Ghost in the Shell, or you mean like the series standalone complex?
Every single series, the movie, the series, every time she's been the voice actress. She's also done. She's cast her in Fate's Day Night, Ultimisa in Dissidia Final Fantasy, Kanye in Nier Replicant.
So what about Belle?
Belle is voiced by Kazuhiro Yamaji. He's quite new.
I'm pretty sure I've heard of his name before though. I think wasn't he in Tokusatsu?
I believe, yeah, he's done a couple of Tokusatsu roles. If you just give me a second. I can't see any Tokusatsu roles, but he's mostly known for dubbing for dubbing foreign films. That's the majority of his Wikipedia page, at least.
I thought he would have been some Tokusatsu candy.
No, yeah, for actual for actual anime and he has actually done. He was someone in Kamen Rider Blade, and he was the Leo, imagine, in Kamen Rider
Yes, that's the one. Kamen Rider Blade. He was the
Kei Karasuma.
Yes, he was the director guy who was a huge asshole. I remember him. I hated him.
Yeah.
That's why I blocked him out of my mind, but I hated him.
But yeah, so his anime repertoire is not that long, but his dubbing repertoire for foreign films is really, really long.
Well, he is an actor, so I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, that's true.
That's where most of his stuff lies. All right, so I hope you guys enjoyed. This has been the first episode of the CureCast, which is the first Pretty Cure podcast.
Yay, Pretty Cure podcast.
Yay.
I am your host, Kamiya. This is my team, Leochan, Redkun, and we are the Futari wa CureCast group. Now, before I end it tonight, let me say that, like the Pretty Cure universe, there are more of us. More warriors will step up to the plate and take on what we've started.
Yes!
And we'll be there to support them. And I hope you guys enjoy them as much as you guys enjoyed us.
Well, I hope they enjoyed us anyway.
Don't be like that. Thank you again. We hope to see you again soon. And remember, we do have an email, so if you guys want to send us letters or anything, feedback, you can email us at thecurecast@gmail.com. That is CureCast, CureCast @gmail.com. Thank you very much, and I hope you guys have a pleasant evening.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
愛してるあから始まる合言葉あなたへともう止まらないほのぼの愛の空から降るダイヤモンド目の前がキラキラだよ吐く息も白くて凛としちゃう朝元気 でねプリンよりメロメロなんだろうこの胸のキュンキュン月曜火曜水木金土曜日曜 Everyday Holiday ワクワクワクワねちどうしの冬は侮れない当選番も邪魔もなんのそのいい寸作は闇を越えて光ありがとう愛してるあから始まる合言葉冬休みもう全開じゃんワンダ